Hello everybody, December48 here and welcome back to some more ScapeCon 4 gameplay. Today we are going over the Cheese Reinforcements Tournament. This section will only have cheese, not the reinforcements. The reinforcements come in to play in Top Cut. This video is going to be rounds 1 through 5. I'll hand it over to Big Bullfrog and anyone else who joins in to commentate throughout the first 5 rounds.
Alright guys, we will be starting up this game here in a second. I'm sure you can see everybody starting to put up their armies here.
He's a melee player.
I'm just typing up some stuff and we've got our intrepid co-caster coming up right now. How's it going, Adam?
Good, just to break this up. I'm gonna go walk the room for just a minute here.
Okay. Sounds good.
You know me, I can blather all day.
Alright, so we are going to be having Doc join us here in a minute, and this will be great because we've got a Q9 on the board here, so this will be awesome to see. I'm just typing up some stats here, so I'll be missing the first little bit, but we're happy to be here. Even if I'm very tired right now, I don't know if you can hear it, but fortunately, some cough drops were dropped off for me, and that is going to be a very good help. I don't know if I need to specify that the Raelin in these armies are going to be Rise of the Valkyrie, but we'll do it just in case we need that. I'm not sure how many Deathreavers are on the board here. And then we've got a bunch of 4th Mast. Let's see for Gordon over there. And they're jumping right into it, man. Mr. Migraine, Gordon, you're too fast to players. It's okay, this will be great. Yarosh. Do this real quick, and I'm just gonna pull up these armies real quick so I don't have to squint at the board to count how many figures we've got there. Let's see, cheese, here we go. But yeah, so I'm really glad that we've got this map on stream because I've been meaning to try to get it on. I don't think we've been able to feature it as much. Alright, so let me find Deroche real quick. Deroche, where are ya? There you are. Okay. Oh, it's just times 5. 4th Massachusetts line X5. You know what's really important? I can spell Massachusetts really easy. Seems like it'll be a real hassle. That is right, Skywell. It's gonna have a hard time of it here. 6 range, 2 attack, 2 defense. There we go. Okay, Deroche with his army, nice and easy. Mr. Migraine did miss a couple things here, so I will update that right now. So we've got double squad of Deathreavers. And then Marro Warriors. Which have 6 move, 6 range, 2 attack, 3 defense. Isamu. Alright, and here we go. So just missed a little bit of the early game there, but that's okay. Looks like it was mostly development. I saw some dice being rolled. Ooh, oh no. Hang on. Our little dice cam got messed up again. So I'll make that bigger here in a second. I just want to see what DeRoche is doing with his order marker here, just to kind of catch up on the game real quick, make sure I know what's going on here. Looks like so this is the second order marker on 4th. Okay.
All right. I've worked in the field.
Are you going to commentate? Are you going
I'm
to
gonna
file on
comment.
Gordon?
I'm gonna comment.
Yeah. It's going to tell us what's what.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do. We got DeRoche here. Are we live? Or?
We are live, yes. So we've got DeRoche with 5 squads of 4th, and then we've got Q9, Reavers.
He's got 5 squads of 4th sitting 2 because it's an 18-figure
Right.
reward for the morning. Now, this is a tactical thing because he has the opportunity to get those back if he makes the top cut. And he'll have enough points to add Nilfheim is probably the most likely thing he'd add. And it would become a kamikaze Nilfheim build.
Right.
Where you send
I was wondering about that because I was trying to think about point totals earlier, and I'm like, yeah, you either need a kamikaze unit or like Valiant figures don't really fill out that point total well, right?
I mean, if you wanted to, you could add like you could go AOA Drake and Sam Brown, which hits.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, there's stuff now. There's options. You could go Swarm Drake and Kenteller or something if you really want it. But AOA Drake has had a good showing this weekend.
He's solid.
So I think the better move would probably be AOA Drake, Sam Brown, if you wanted to stay Valiant. But if you don't care about that, I think that Nilfheim gives you a lot of power into the rat builds that you can't get any other way in this build. And,
Right.
And so he's going to have issues here. The one advantage he has is that Mr. Raigun is playing a very slightly off-meta form of this Rats Raelin Q9 build in that he's got one fewer squad of rats so that he can have Marro Warriors instead, which is good into some of the builds that can create problems for Q9, like a Nilfheim Greenscales, for example. You'd rather have this form, but it's probably worse into these Wait Then Fire armies, which with only 8 rats on the board have a much easier time just grinding through the rats and getting shots on Q9. So I played this matchup a lot. I was in the 3-headed Hydra tournament on Wednesday, and my team, I played Rats Q9. It was Delta, so I didn't have Raelin. But I played Rats Q9, and I went into 4th-x4 multiple times.
Yeah.
So I know this matchup. I've played it many times before that. I know this matchup extremely well. And basically, if you're the Q9 player, you're okay getting shot at a little bit, but what you don't want to be Wait Then Fired at.
Yes.
So you have to be willing to move. You have to be willing to give up ground, and you also have to be willing to mix in some rat order markers to make sure that your rats don't get stuck in the wrong spot and you get outflanked. The biggest mistake people make when they're playing Rats Q9 armies is that they don't put enough order markers on their rats. It feels like a wasted order marker, but you make it so your opponent can't ignore them, and you get so much value out of that. So
Yeah, that makes sense. So one question I was going to have here, because you just don't see Q9 rats played as much nowadays, right? There's kind of like even in cheese, there's kind of like a taboo about it, I feel like.
well, there's actually a lot out there today.
Is there?
Yeah.
I was hearing a lot about it today, and I'm like, that's cool, because I usually if there's a cheese tournament, it's you're playing them, and maybe one or two other people,
Right.
but it's not much.
Well, but that's V-Cheese. And
that's true, and that's also V-Cheese.
I mean, this is the first... I think we should answer Skywell's question here.
Yeah.
They are allowed to submit late. So after so what will happen is at the end of the morning session when they've decided top cut, they will have to submit their reinforcements. They will not know who they are playing in top cut. That's going to be randomized. So they can't specifically tech their matchup. Although you can play the odds. If you have, like, say, Heavy's Grimneck, and most of the people have 10th Raelin, maybe you add Grav instead of adding the other things, so that you have a chance against them. But you won't specifically know who you're playing. Sorry, where were we before?
Let's see. So because looking at this is the first plain cheese
Right.
tournament for
Really,
at least like high level tournament for a long time, right?
Yeah, I mean, 2010 is the last time that it was run at a Gen Con / ScapeCon, and that ended in a Rats Raelin Q9 finals. Although I had Hydra Krav, and my opponent had Cayman Marro Warriors Arkmer, because it was also a reinforcement format.
Right.
So he had to add Arkmer because he didn't have another good option for that final add because of where the point. I played a tiny bit light, which had let me add Krav.
Okay.
So we both had Raelin Q9 and 4 squads of rats. So that was a good time back in the day. Man train choo choo.
I remember hearing about that was like shortly after I first joined Heroescapers, and so I remember seeing that and being like, this is the pinnacle of Heroescape.
Right, but I think the fact that the two of us were in finals with that army was part of the reason that Reverse the Whip took over the next year, because people didn't want to see that.
Right.
So it looks like this is. I'm just trying to get a sense of where we're at here in the game. We're ignoring poor DeRoche's efforts to overwhelm the Rats Q9. He has not lost very many units. Has he lost any yet?
I don't think either has lost any units so far.
Interesting. So, yeah, I mean, this is a pretty decent match. I mean, you don't mind jungle in this matchup as the fourth player, because your 3 defense can use the help probably more than Q9 can use the help. You know, what's one extra defense when you're rolling 9 or 10? So,
right.
But
would you often play? Because I don't see this army or the Rats army played tons. When you're playing into fourth, is it common to like keep just Q9 in Raelin Zara but shoot out the Rats past the R there?
So yeah, the difference between playing a 5 range army and a 6 range army is pretty big. And this, like, if you're playing against Stingers, you can literally like move Raelin up and just throw Stingers 4 spaces away from Raelin in like an arc.
Okay.
Because the Stingers cannot attack Raelin because they'll be engaged to one of the Rats in your arc. But the fourth can be 1 space back from that. That one point of additional range makes all the difference in the world in this matchup. It makes it so that if you try to tether your Rats to Raelin, they just won't do anything against a good player. A good player will just be like, okay, well, that's where your Rats are. I'm going to shoot at Raelin. So you have to play your Rats a little more aggressively, which is why having only 2 squads of Rats in this matchup is not great. Gordon, in my opinion, is probably mildly favored in this matchup because he has 18 fourth mass, and all he has to do is grind through probably like 7 Rats, before the last one becomes irrelevant. And then he's shooting at Q9. Now killing Q9 is going to be annoying, but once the Rats are out of the way, you can go around. He can shoot Raelin. The problem is just going to be getting his figures there. So this is not a matchup where he can effectively sit in his start zone. So the biggest, I think he's probably not slow rolled enough here. Not because he needed to slow roll in this phase of the game, but because he's going to reach a point where he's killed the Rats, and he won't be able to get to Raelin without giving up tons of shots on Q9.
Okay.
So like if he had a bunch of figures kind of on the closer to us side of the map at this point, then it wouldn't really be making a difference in this part of the game. But what it would mean is that when the Rats were dead, he could easily just move them up and start shooting Raelin, or start shooting Marro Warriors once Raelin's dead, and then Q9 would have a harder time thinning them out and preventing those shots from happening. So the dynamic of the game, the way it's developing, I think there's a decent chance that Mitch is gonna take this one. But there's a lot of Heroescape yet to be played. So.
Right.
But yeah, it's interesting. Looking out on the field, it's definitely a Q9 friendly environment because.
Is it?
Okay, so this is my big thought on the cheese meta.
Okay.
Is that there's sort of a triangle where you have the sort of you have the Weight and Fire armies, like the primarily in this field it's primarily 10th Raelin, although we're looking at 4th Mass now, which obviously does similar things.
Right.
But 10th Raelin's a little more common in the field. And then those are very good against your melee armies, and the relevant one in this case being Grimnack Heavies. Grimnack Heavies is really good into Rats Q9. Rats Q9 is good into the Weight and Fire armies. In general. Now this is a little bit of an unusual Weight and Rats Q9 army. It only has 2 rats, so I think it's a much closer matchup because of that. And also, 4th is probably slightly better in this matchup than 10th Raelin is because they have more freedom of movement. That really.
But yeah, no, that makes sense though, as kind of like a rock paper scissors to it.
Right, but the interesting thing is that there are 2 people that I've seen running heavies.
Oh, really?
Literally 2. Now,
Just 2?
Yeah. Now those 2 are Q23 and Chris Perkins. So
they'll make waves.
They're not bad, but the reality is, they could both lose a game. I think Q23 is playing against 10th Regiment right now.
Really? Oh, dang.
And I mean, they could both lose to that before they have a chance. I mean, because there's a bunch of Q9 rats, there's a bunch of 10th Raelin. So if you're in that, so like if you think of it as a rock paper scissors, it's as if there's like a ton of rocks and a ton of paper and like 2 scissors. So in an environment like that, you want to be playing paper, right?
Right. Oh yeah, exactly.
Because there's only 2 things that are the paper to they're the scissors to your paper. So in this, I randomly picked rock paper scissors. There's no, but in this scenario, the paper is Q9 rats, and the rock is 10th Raelin or 4th Mass, right? So those are the ones that I think are probably. I would want to be on that end of things. I'd want to be the Q9 rats because the chance of me facing the heavies is low. But the other thing is there are a decent number of Nilfheims. Now, and Nilfheim Greenscales normally also occupies that same space as heavies, where they're good into the Q9 rats. But this is not a good point to remove for Nilfheim.
That's true. Yeah, they were talking earlier about how if you're playing Nilfheim, if you make top cut, it becomes a good point total, but you've got to make it there and play basically. I mean, it's not short. I don't think it's short on points or anything, but it is a suboptimal build.
You only get 2 squads of Greenscales.
Yeah.
Or there's people playing all kinds of really unusual things. I think there's a couple people, I think both Veggie and Gucci Boost are playing 3 squads of 4th with Nilfheim.
Oh, interesting.
So that's the kamikaze Nilf build. Like it's basically the backwards version of what Jarosh would do if he made top cut. He would just add he would add Nilfheim here, get his 2 4th mass back because the figure limit goes up, and that would be his version. Then there's people playing 3 squads of 4th Nilfheim right now. So in that case, if they play against anything really, they're just going to bomb Nilfheim out, have them do as much damage as they can. When Nilfheim gets killed, well, now their 4th get the Valiant bonus. And they just hope that 12 4th can finish out whatever's left. For example, if Nilfheim were playing, if Gordon had Nilfheim instead of those last 6 4th mass here, I think actually that's a great matchup for him because there's only 8 rats to kill.
That's true. You can do that.
Nilfheim's not going to have too much trouble dealing with those rats. Might even get some shots on Raelin or Marro warriors in the process too. Before Q9 takes him out, so it's actually a really solid matchup. And then you have 12 4th to try to finish it. It's not wonderful. 12 4th can lose to a naked Q9 if the dice don't go your way.
Right.
But I do like Nilf's ability to kind of disrupt the matchup. So. All right. So where are they keeping their casualties? It's hard for me to track what's going on here. So there's 3 dead rats at this point.
Let's see.
1 dead Marro warrior is what I'm seeing. And then I'm just going to count 4th on the board. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So he's lost 5 fourth. Is that right?
Seems like. Except Deathreavers, there are, let's see, 6 rats on the board.
Yeah, I see 2 or 3 in there. I think
that's the card.
Oh.
It's that alternate.
Oh,
art
that's
card.
the alt art card.
Yeah. So.
It's throwing me.
But there's 1, 2, 5, 6
Okay,
Deathreavers
so
at
just
least.
track them somewhere else.
Yeah. We need a figure graveyard for us to see that a little bit easier.
I'm actually gonna walk over there and see.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Alright, doing that. I'm gonna mess with the dice cam real quick. Let's get that dice cam up a little bit so that we can see things a touch better. Oh, I know that's the wrong way. Too far. Oh, wrong way, wrong way. Too far the right way. Oh, come on. There we go. That's what we want for the dice cam. Oh, there we go. That looks really good for the dice cam. All right. So yeah, DeRoche just making a little movement up there, based kind of off of what Doc was saying, and taking a look at the state of the matchup right now. I think if DeRoche was, trying to slow roll a bit more, you've got some good jungle just right outside the start zone. So I'm guessing, if you kind of just place your figures next to the jungle there.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they're keeping their casualties below our view here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it is 5 fourth mouse down and 2 rats down. So, and plus the 2 Marro warriors that we can see there.
Right. So fourth are kind of going at a quick rate then, compared to the Deathreavers. So and then you mentioned earlier, like if DeRoche was slow rolling a bit more, that'd probably be better. So do you think you just like kind of come onto this level 2, like around the jungle?
Yeah.
And such, just right outside the start zone, and just start wait then fire.
Yeah, I mean, you really just have to take down the rats now. Although, I don't know, Mitch has got his in a spot where you could potentially come around to shoot at Raelin, but I don't love that. But I do feel like it's probably... You reach a point in this matchup when you're playing, if you're the fourth and things aren't going well, where you just know you don't have time to deal with Raelin anymore. And you may be at that point here where you just feel like if you try to take this army down in pieces, it's going to take too long. But, I mean, in principle, you just want to shoot, you want to kill the rats outside Raelin's aura, then you want to get around, kill Raelin, and then you want to kill Q9. But it might just be too slow. The line of sight blockers aren't fantastic on this map. It's a jungle map, so like there obviously there's bush to be had, but like those glaciers don't block that much in terms of line of sight. So like
right.
Q9 has pretty good sight line, so you can at least shoot at something. You don't hate taking 3v4s with Q9 in this matchup. So, and I guess yeah, I mean if Q9's in Raelin's are like. I guess you're kind of okay with getting wait then fired, but I mean, as Mitch, I would probably put an order marker on rats here. I feel like one order marker on rats here makes a big difference. There is there's 1/4 that's tied down at the right side of the glacier there, but
oh, okay.
But there's still
but the other ones have shots. Like the rats are just claiming that middle ground, right?
Yeah. It looks like he's made the decision to just go for Q9 and just try to win it. The quick way, so to speak.
Right.
Basically, like I'm not going to try to take this army down in pieces. And to some extent, I think it makes sense if Mitch isn't putting order markers on rats, because he's got 5 rats here that are doing nothing except making it hard to get to Raelin. They're not doing anything to make it hard to attack Q9. So if you could just say, okay, well then I'm just going to try to do it this way. I'm just going to try to take down. Now Q9 is not on Jungle Bush right now.
Right.
So but it's still going to be 10 defense against anything on low ground, and it's going to be 9 defense against everything. So, but if you can get Wake Them Fires, 3v9 cracks eventually, but there's no wounds on Q9, are there?
Not yet, no.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not a likely path to victory. I'll just put it that way. I mean, it can happen. As a Q9 player, I'm not 100% comfortable here. I want to put an order marker on rats and change the dynamic, because at this point, the Q9 player, you're winning by enough that you don't need to risk anymore. You don't like the great thing about playing Q9 is that you have that 7 defense to fall back on.
Yes.
So that it gives you a lot of stability even in matchups that aren't great. Well, this isn't V-Cheese, but in V-Cheese, when you're playing against Quahan Spiders, which is one of the worst possible matchups for Q9, you still have 7 defense to fall back on. So it's still.
Do not sign up for 2 tournaments and not drop one. Now,
Okay.
let's see, I'm at the reset.
There's a scolding happening.
I'm not saying who it is, Loki, but somebody did not drop this tournament when they're in another.
Ken just had to scold the field there, but I mean, like even in that matchups where Q9 is terrible, you have that ability to just be like, I'm just going to tank stuff with 7 or 9 defense and see what I can do. But in this matchup where things are going well, you don't need the risk of like a whiff on 9 dice. You don't need to work like you're winning now. There's only 2 squads of 4th left at this point, basically. Put an order marker on your rats, tie down what's left. That's going to delay them for a round. And at that point, like there's just not going to be enough time left. Like you're losing 1 turn to gain probably 2 or 3 turns of unmolested Q9. And yeah, like the rats will die, but that's what they're there for.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't need them alive by the end of the.
Yeah. So I would, and it's probably going to work out anyway, because at this point there's just not enough 4th left, and Q9 is pristine. So you could take the rats off the board, and Mitch is favorite at this point. But I would absolutely put an order marker on rats and just tie down every 4th up front. And I think it's basically ends the game. 1 order marker on rats.
You could even send a rat into the start zone if you wanted to.
You could. I don't think it's.
You don't need to do that.
I don't think it's necessary because they're going to have to grind through the ones up top either way.
That's true. Fair, yeah.
I would just put them next to Jungle Bush and things, so just to make it more annoying. You could even leave one of the ones up front. Right after Isamu and snares. It's true. It's an excellent point, Steve. Well, it's funny because Isamu is my least favorite. And stingers are down there for me. It depends what you mean by least favorite. So there's a lot of ways to define least favorite. Least favorite to play against, or least favorite, like I think I don't like it as a design, or
right.
Do I think it's, and then because I've spent so much time as a designer now, like do I think it's sloppy as a design? Do I think it's unbalanced as a design? Like there's different things. Like I hate Death Knights as a design because I think it's like. I think it's hacky, is the way I would describe it. Like it feels like arbitrary, though, like what it bonds with. Like it feels like somebody just wanted to like have it bond with these things and like came up with some fake words to like try to get it to do the thing.
Kinda, yeah.
It feels hacky. So like I don't mind playing against them. I don't mind playing with them. They're fun. I just don't like it as like that's like my design aesthetic. And then you've got things like Isamu where I'm just like, that's freaking broken, dude. And it's so dumb and annoying, and like I don't like playing against it.
It's not a super fun factor or interesting interaction.
Yeah,
or
it's
like
just like a broken figure. And then there's Q9 who's like, or rats that are both just like super frustrating to play against.
Yes, yeah. So different ways there. No, Stingers and Isamu, that just comes from in Utah. There was like I want to say like for almost a couple years, every month there were like 2 or 3 Stinger armies. So I just got so sick of them. Yeah. But I mean, it made sense because they're very new player friendly, and we had a lot of new players coming in.
I do think they are the easiest army to play. Just straight up the easiest. Like even compared to 4th, like people joke about running 4th with a flowchart, and it's kind of true. But like with Stingers, like you don't even have just pretend that there's no drain, and just play them like 3/3, like generic. The most generic squad in the game, which is what they are, and you're fine.
Basically, yeah.
Now, I'm not saying you should never drain. There are situations where you drain, but they're rare. And for a new player, I'd just be like, just don't drain.
Actually, we had so a couple days ago on stream, we had,
you had Ryan.
Yeah,
well, he had
Manic loaded.
He had Manic
there, right?
loaded, and that
So at that
shifts
point, you
the
think it
map.
just becomes like an automatic roll for drain?
I mean, unless you're like, it's the reverse situation. So if you're winning by a ton and you don't need the risk,
Okay, yeah,
you
yeah.
cannot drain. But the math is absolutely shifted to the point where draining.
Yeah, if
makes
it's only a
sense.
10% chance.
Because basically
in
you're cutting the chance of death by a huge amount and increasing the chance and replacing it with the bonus to attack.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very good at that point. Good. So anyway, yeah. So this is. Oh, so he did finally do the rat order marker I've been asking for. So yeah, now it's over. That one rat order marker just ends the game because now there's only one squad here. Indeed, came for the cheese, not disappointed. Yes, this is definitely full cheese right here. And as we said earlier, these are both. This is I think the only version of both of these armies in the field where there's a lot of duplicates. The more common Q9 army has an additional squad of rats and doesn't have Marro warriors, so it has slightly less flexibility on the reinforcements later. But at the same time, I mean, if I was going to play, I was going to play that army, and I just decided you could actually even add the Isamu on the pre-cut. Because you still have two options for your reinforcements that are basically the two most obvious options, which are Rats and Krav, or Rats Krav Marku, or Rats Hydra, and like those are the only options I need.
Right.
So
just choose between the ones that you need the most, and
yeah, if it's a bunch of 10th Regiment, I'm gonna take Rats Krav. If it's like Heavy's Grimnack or Nilfheim, I'm gonna take Rats Q9. I'm sorry, Rats Hydra.
if you're going in blind, do you have which do you prefer, Hydra or Krav?
Well, I mean, I'm not blind anymore because I can see the field, but
Right.
but the field doesn't surprise me in that I expected there to be a ton of 4th and 10th. So I think if you're blind, you just double down with Krav.
Okay.
In this because of the point totals.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Now, if I was going in blind into a straight 550 event, like it wasn't reinforcements, so it was more Nilfheim friendly at the start, I'd probably go Hydra.
Oh, okay.
Because at that point, I think there's a good chance I'm going to see heavies. It's actually a decent format for heavies there too, and it's a good format for Nilf Greenscales, both of which I really want to have that big hitter to kill Grimnack or to kill a Nilfheim.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because it covers your weaknesses better.
Exactly. Krav don't really cover your weaknesses as a Q9 player, except against something like Stingers came in or Stingers Braxis. Or there are things where you really want stealth dodge. You know, it's generally like because Stingers are actually pretty good into Q9 in term they're not great into Raelin rats, but if somebody has a way to get rid of the rats and then get at your Q9, Stingers that's the case where you drain because you want the extra dice. Stingers can kill Q9 quickly. So in those cases, I would rather have Krav. Stingers hate going into Raelin Krav with rats. I mean, you basically hold Q9 back and just lead Rats Raelin Krav. And the Krav just mauls Stingers because you want to drain? That's great. I still just need one shield.
Right. It's so annoying, but so good.
Yeah. So that's there are different point totals where Krav is good, but in general, Krav are just doubling down on your good matchups, which is against ranged commons. Stingers are the worst ranged common for. Except maybe Microcorp Troopers and Vichis. But Stingers are the worst range common for Q9 to face. But they're not, it's still a decent matchup for Q9. You don't really need to cover it. You can always do what I was talking about earlier, where you basically keep Q9 back with Raelin, and you put your rats 4 spaces out. It can be hard to set up if you want to advance. Like on most of these maps at ScapeCon, sitting in your start zone is not ideal. So you do want to push forward in that case, and that can be a little bit awkward. but it is doable, and that's kind of how you play that matchup. Is very very turtle, very pod, unlike the way you play against fourth mass where your rats run around a lot. It's much more fun to play that version. So that's the thing. That's the thing about. I acknowledge that Rats Q9 is very frustrating to play against, and people don't like it, and I know that. But I will say that I really enjoy playing Rats. I won't say I enjoy playing Q9 as like oh wow, I'm getting to do cool stuff. Like Q9's pretty boring.
Right.
But Rats, I know they're super undercosted. I know Scatter is frustrating for people, but for me as a player, Scatter is really fun. I get to make a lot of decisions. I get to be really, really creative about when am I moving forward, when am I holding back, when am I putting order markers on them, when am I trusting Scatter to do the work. So like for me, that's a really fun problem. Even though I acknowledge that it's underpriced and OP.
Right.
In certain matchups, it's a very fun process for me. Like that to me is the most fun part of playing this army is rat decisions.
Yeah, no, that makes sense because I have seen also, like I think I've seen people really enjoy playing with or even against rats sometimes when it's, not like Raelin and stuff, if it's rats plus some kind of jank, people are like, oh yeah, this is actually kind of fun to mess around with.
Yeah,
but,
you can make fun rat armies.
Yeah, for sure.
It takes a little bit of effort. You have to be, but you can. I'm actually playing rats in quad pod.
Oh yeah.
In the afternoon, just two squads. But in quad pod, of course, you can balance it. Like one of my other pods has Phantom Knights. So like I have they're obviously they just jump over the rats and kill things. So you can make it so they're not overpowered. But I think they're fun to play. So, there's things you can do to make it not completely degenerate. But of course, this is the cheese format. We're here for the degenerate.
Yes, we are. I'd be disappointed if
this one is this one is over. Q9's not Q9's taken one. No.
Yeah, taken one.
Oh no, that's Raelin that's taken one.
Oh yeah, Raelin. Sorry.
Is that a Wannick? Oh yeah, that must have been a Wannick wound because he has not been at.
Probably, yeah.
I'm
Wannick,
guessing
Isamu and probably that one wound.
Yeah, I think and maybe even one of the Marro Warriors.
Oh yeah, could be that.
Because in this matchup, you don't need the Marro Warriors. They're actually not that good against them. If there's like a squad of fourth left against the Marro Warriors, the fourth have just as much of a chance of winning that as Marro Warriors do. Because if you start cloning, you're just going to keep getting shot at. It's actually not that great. So you kind of just have to shoot back and forth and hope you win. So like one squad of fourth can finish Marro. It's not a great cleanup tool the way it is against like a melee army. Like against like heavies. The Marro Warriors, if you get rid of Grimnack, but then you lose and there's still a few heavies around, the Marro Warriors can potentially run and gun and beat the last heavies pretty effectively. So it's good in that matchup. But this version of the army is better into that heavies matchup than the straight rats version. Just because Grimnack is so good into rats.
Yeah. Oh, it's really nice when you can just ignore.
Yes, and all your squads at disengage. So,
right.
So your hero has chomp and your squad's at disengage, so you're golden in this matchup. But although it's still tough. I mean Grimnack can die. It's always
and 7 defense can just go forever sometimes.
Yep, for sure. That's a tough matchup. That's how I lost one of the V cheeses. I lost to a Grimnack build. That was my game against Nathan. I don't think that one ended up on 10 points under. I think.
Oh, it was that. Was that one of the first V cheese games?
That was the one where the finals. That was one where the finals was Kuthnak Blades against Veggie, who had the Q9 Rygarn. Roots, Marro Warriors army.
Yeah.
Where he had that massive comeback. I commented on that finals with you. That's a great finals match. I highly recommend that one if you're getting on 10 points under.
That was a really fun one.
Go look up that V-Cheese finals between Infected Sloth and Veggie. Assuming you're into the VC stuff, that is a great match. But he beat me earlier with Blades and Kuthnak. He got into my start zone with Grimnack in that game, and Grimnack had I think like 2 or 3 life left and was outside Raelin's armor, was gonna die, and he had one chomp attempt on Raelin and got it.
Oh man.
And I killed Grimnack the next order marker, but it ended up coming down to 1 squad of rats against Raelin.
That's insane.
It was a great game.
I'm gonna mess with this a little bit real quick, just cause.
Yeah, I think that we can pretty much call this game.
So Q9 does have 3 wounds on him, which was hidden by the dice box. So I had to move that real quick. So
oh my goodness. Oh, so this is not over at all then, because
so there's see.
I mean, the reason it's not over is because it's more of an order marker thing. Like the Marro Warriors, there's only 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So if
I'll pop that box
if
over.
you pop Q9, the order markers might get stuck on the wrong card, and then the 4th can potentially take out those 2. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
So it was close. He made it.
Yeah, no, that was closer than I. I saw him like move a die there, and like, oh, hang on, is Q9 being wounded here?
Yeah. Oh, we just barely missed. Yeah, I'll have to resize things or rearrange things slightly, I guess.
Yeah, I thought that card would be okay there. I'll just usually, if I get the cards earlier, I guess usually they don't cover the stats with the die. That's what I wasn't expecting, and so I thought if that part of the card was covered with the text or with the box, that'd be okay.
All right, cool. I'm gonna wander around a little and schmooze with people.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll hit the next game. I'm gonna probably won't be able to commentate round 3. I'm gonna get on a phone call.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna tell about Renegades.
Sounds good.
But I could probably do next one.
All right, yeah. So, Mr. Migraine takes that game. All right, round 2 kicking up now. So we have. I just forgot who we put over there. We talked to like 3 different games. On Turmoil, we've got William, Major Q23 versus Jack, aka Trivia Knight. So let me really quick work on typing up these glyphs and such.
I'll be in a second here.
Okay.
Walk the floor. I like to meet with my people.
Yeah. So Doc's gonna do his rounds real quick while I just get this stuff typed up. It'll be, let's see on the close side glyph, we've got Sola Astrid. And this will be an interesting matchup. Turn off that real quick. And then let's up in here. So on the left side, we've got Major Q23. Delete that. So, we'll have a fun matchup here. I'm excited to see this one. It'll be a little bit different from last time. We almost got another Q9 game, but decided to go with this one ultimately. So Major Q23 run into Heavy Guts. We've got Grimnack. I shouldn't be typing this where you guys can see my mistakes. We've got Nirak, 3 life. Let's see. 3 squads of heavies? Yeah, 3 squads of heavies and then Marku. 3 defense. Marku SNY has 6 life, 7 move, 1 range, 4 attack, and 1 defense. Alright. So that's Major Q23 right there on the left side. Looks like they are starting their first movements. Which is okay. We will be right in there with them here in just a second as I get Trivia Knight's army. So Trivia Knight's running an interesting army, actually. So we've got Nilfheim, but instead of Raelin, we've got Deathreavers. So we've got still green scales, 2 squads, and Deathreavers X2. And then, let's see real quick, anything else in there? There's an Isamu. Range, 3 attack, 1 defense. Alright, so here we go. We are ready to rock and roll with these text boxes, and Major Q23 has revealed Order Mark 1 on the Heavy Gruts. Surprise, surprise. So I'm going to be really interested to talk with Doc about this one. So we were talking earlier about kind of like the rock, paper, scissors of the matchups. You know, you've got Q9, you've got Heavies, which beat Q9, you've got Wait Them Fire, which beats Heavies but loses to Q9. So here we've got Major Q23, who's going to be beating those Heavies. Yep, we've got it up and rolling.
All right.
And I'm interested to hear your take on the Deathreavers with Nilfheim.
Deathreavers with Nilfheim.
Yeah, so instead of Raelin, 2 squads of Deathreavers.
So this is interesting. It's just an example. We've seen a lot of these armies today that are just like everybody who's playing Nilfheim's doing something different or something weird.
Yeah.
You do have. I did just see Ryan Ryguy. He is playing just straight up green scales Nilf Raelin, like the standard. But the thing is, if your bad matchup is melee, then having a double screen is good, right?
Right.
So the problem is, you're playing against the melee that doesn't care about rats.
Right.
So this is actually a pretty bad matchup. Now the only thing that's a redeeming thing is that if Grimnack dies, it's pretty bleak for William, because now all of a sudden the rats, they're not dominant, but at least they're not just getting chomped, and the green scales can do a lot of work. It's still, you're asking Nilfheim to get a lot of kills here. This is just a pretty bad matchup for Trivia Night. William can basically just slow roll here until Nilf gets forward, because you're not worried about the rats getting established. If the rats get established, okay, chomp, disengage, I'm through.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's going to be a pretty tough one. I almost put another matchup on stream, but then it was like, well, they're both 0-1, and I was like, all right, fine, we'll take this one. I mean, it's interesting armies. I think for sure. But Trivia Knight's army, I think this is pretty close to the worst case matchup. I mean, the Wait Then Fires, I mean, I'd say maybe like the army that DeRoche was playing last round is also really bad for Trivia Night here, because with no Raelin, Nilfheim just has a hard time against that much fourth.
Right, yeah, because I was kind of brainstorming earlier on like the choice to bring Deathreavers, because I know there's one other person who's also got this same build with the Deathreavers.
Yeah.
But so, because Wait Then Fire is one of the weaker matchups for Dragons.
Yes.
So, do you think, so I could see thinking, Deathreavers to try to help counter the Wait Then Fire, but does it do that much more than Raelin does, though? Not really. I mean, the thing, I would probably rather have Raelin, because it's just a more consistent way to help. If you put Raelin behind, 4 spaces behind a Nilfheim spot that can shoot at everything. In that matchup, the Wait Then Fire person does not have much motivation to try to get around you to get at Raelin. They're probably just going to shoot Nilfheim, just because if they're giving up the Wait Then Fires and coming around, Nilfheim is going to have a field day. Nilfheim's offense is so good. The one thing that that rats bring you in that matchup is they can make it really difficult to single engage Nilf, which is one of Nilf's big weaknesses. That's why Nilf hates like the Knights matchup. So against Knights, you might rather have the rats, just because it means you're going to get 3 shots in this kind of mid stages of the game way more consistently until those rats get killed, and you can even put green scales in the gaps and sort of get a couple shots in here and there that way. Although in that matchup, you really just want the screening action, because you just want to make sure you're getting 3 attacks of 4 without having to disengage from a Knight enemy play. So Trivia Knight is putting out those rats.
what are the glyphs on this? There's initiative up top, and then it's Sola Astrid on the bottom, which is a pretty big deal in this matchup. This is a case where both of the glyphs are better for Q23 than they are for Trivia Night. In that Sola Astrid, well, it's actually I take that back. The green scales can benefit from Sola Astrid, but Nofan can't. And initiative, it's more just that William's gonna hope to lose initiative and attack on the switch. Who won an opening initiative here? So
it was
looks like
Heavy's
William.
one.
Yeah, it looks like it. So, but I expect. So right now, Jack is debating whether to take Dagmar. Did he take Dagmar up top? I'm trying to see.
He does have Dagmar.
I think that's a mistake.
Yeah,
I would not have taken Dagmar here. I am a big fan of William winning initiative repeatedly. Here, I want Q23 to win every initiative for the whole game. If because I never want to give him the chance to attack on order marker 3 while grabbing initiative. For the flip.
Yeah.
That is
I agree.
nightmare. So I would not have taken that initiative. I probably would have taken Sola Astrid and just dared him to go chomp it. If he chomps it, now
get him in a position there.
If he chomps it, then Nofan free. So I would have taken the opposite glyph from the one that Jack took here. So that's. But William is basically playing a very comfortable slow roll here. Nofan's not attacking, so he's not doing. If you're him, you just say, okay, this was the plan. Okay, so he actually has. It's interesting. He has a couple heavies down there on the other end, where he's just attacking. I guess he's just gonna attack rats with them, just for the sake of attacking rats. It's like, hey, I gotta kill him. I gotta kill him.
If he scatters, you don't care. You can still just it's fine.
You do not care. You are fine with let him scatter all the way into Grimnack. That's great.
Just make your job easier.
Right. So but he's decided to just keep his slow rolling. No reason not to. Where is he? He has Nirak, right? Yeah. Okay. So
Nirak's right there on the rock.
Yep. This is Turmoil, right? Yeah. So the classic Super Frog map. Can I call it a classic? It's not that old.
Not that old, but I do think it is Super Frog's most notable map.
I would agree. Before this map came along, I hated this terrain combination.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like every map that ever uses terrain combination, I was like, it's ugly and I don't like how it plays. There was that map that got used a lot at Gen Con. Burial Marsh.
Oh, yeah.
With the two high grounds and then the
like
valley in the middle with the road going up and down it. And it was like, it was really easy to deny double spacer movement. It had the split start zones that were kind of awkward, but I didn't feel like it was that. I did not like that map. But this map definitely changed my view of the combination. So.
It's definitely a good, solid map.
Yeah, I think it's easily a top 10 all-time map in my opinion.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's taking some swings at the rats on the top there. Looks like he killed one. Is it? Yep. And now
got the initiative.
Gets the scatter. It's interesting. That's a funny spot. So he had those attacks and they were pretty free attacks. So like I get him taking it. At the same time, I almost want him to win initiative next round. So do I really want to? Maybe he's banking on the scatter coming back onto the glyph, which it does. Yeah. So that was I think this is going exactly to plan for Q23 right now. I'm guessing that he was very happy when he saw that scatter that just happened. But it is an order mark now. Will that order marker 3 be on green scales? My suspicion is it will. It should probably be.
It should be. It looks like that's it right there, right on Deathreavers again.
Is it?
I think.
Yeah, I guess so. That's interesting. With only 2 squads.
It's a weird choice.
It's a choice. Now, I guess you lost initiative here. Maybe the plan by Jack. Well, so it's clearly not. But I wouldn't have hated just like taking initiative here and then jumping onto the height and just right now just getting at it fast with Nilfheim, and then if you win initiative, you can drop back into more of a defensive shell on the OM1 of the next round. You could maybe jump up to the high ground on the near side of the map here to us and take 3 ice shards, and then if you win initiative, as you probably would, you move over to the high ground that's farther away from us that already has the 2 rats on it, and you can fall back there and maybe take 1 or 2 shots with Nilfheim from there and bring your green scales over to that side. The only problem is then you're basically conceding Sola Astrid, but you do have a rat over there. You could potentially, you're not in a position to scatter on back on.
Yeah, no, he was fighting so hard for that initiative glyph. I'm really surprised that Order Marker 3 wasn't on green scales to do something with Nilf.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see, to be blunt, I don't see much point of taking the initiative back if your third Order Marker's on rats.
Yeah.
You may as well. Honestly, you want to just keep losing initiative here to prevent the potential switch down the line, because it's not like your Order Marker 1 green scales here is golden. It's just it's a pretty normal. I wouldn't even want to be aggressive. Like Nilfheim has the move to jump up to the height, but the green scales don't have the move to fall in front of it. So you would just end up getting hit by a Grimnack supported heavy at that point, which doesn't sound like a great time to me if I'm Nilfheim.
Yeah, no, not at all.
So, plus that means you're single engaged, which is exactly what you don't want.
Right.
It's a whole thing. So, I'm gonna get it.
Okay. Let's see, so Order Marker 1 on green scales here. Via Knight gets to move up Nilfheim. But what do you do here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How's it going? Going good?
Yeah, just won in 10 minutes.
You won in 10 minutes?
Yeah,
dude,
we
nice.
just got Q9, and Blancs, he blanked.
All right, so there you go. That's all you need.
My 10 minutes, Q9, bam, bam, blank, done. We just went Q9. No, sorry. I went Raelin. He went Q9. Take a shot. No, yeah. I went Raelin. He went Q9. Out of range. I went Q9. He went Q9. Attack Raelin. Wounds. No. Okay. Raelin. Q9. Attack. Boom. 1 wound. Boom. Raelin. Boom. Q9. Second wound. Boom. Raelin dead. Raelin. Q9. Boom, boom, boom. He's Q9. And I win. Is there anything to do in this matchup, or just hopes?
So it's a very touchy thing. You can try to mob your opponent's Q9 with rats, but it's like you're playing.
Yeah, and just have one OM on rat, and it's blocking everything.
If you completely mob the other person's Q9 with rats, it can be a big advantage, but it's hard to pull off.
Yeah,
it's really hard to pull
so
off.
we just went for Q9.
Yeah.
And it was on Song of the Walrus with the 2.
Yeah. I've seen it done, but it's really hard to do. The Q9 mob.
You blank it. You blank super fast.
All right, you can go ahead and commentate if you want.
You want to?
No. I've been doing it for a while. You join in.
Okay.
So this is this matchup doesn't look like it. I mean, it's looking very favorable for Q23 right now.
Nilfheim rats.
Yeah.
Green scale. Okay, yes. Oh,
There's
that's
no
cool.
Raelin on the north side.
Oh.
Yeah, so Deathreavers instead of Raelin there.
Okay, 2 times Deathreaver, 2 times greenies, right?
Yep.
Okay.
The thing is,
More
what
brokers.
we were saying earlier is that Trivia Knight took the initiative glyph when he hadn't developed Nilfheim yet. So it just seemed like a misplay because he actually wants to lose initiative there and force Grimnack up, prevent the switch down the line. You know. So.
Yeah, he wasn't even able to get Nilfheim where he went. He wasn't even able to get a nice shard off.
Also, you want to have it like, okay, no, I can have it safely. But yeah, as all the over army was on the other side, he could have waited a bit.
Yeah, Grimnack's on the Solar Asteroid side, which makes sense.
I think it is a good matchup for. Okay, so Grimnack full life, Nerak full life, every Grad's no dead yet. Oh, one dead. Oh,
Yeah, just one dead there.
Right, just one dead. I don't know. It's tough to say. I think as Nilfam, you have to focus heavies. That's what I would do.
Yeah, kill those squads as much as possible, and but Grimnack's gonna wreck all of your squads at the same time, though, right? So it's
No, yeah, but Grimnack is only one per turn.
yeah, but he's if you
And he
you
has
get
to
through
go
him,
in,
you
it's
can-
very dangerous to. Yeah, see?
Yeah, but you do
Grimnack
so if
doesn't
you
go
can-
in yet.
But if you can kill the heavies before they're able to get to Nilf, for sure, yeah, like because that's how they're gonna be able to kill Nilf. If it's just Grimnack into Nilf.
Right here, Trellan is setting in the way that Grimnack trump a guy, only one heavy will have like maybe two.
Skywell making the prediction that someone from North Carolina will win this match. I'd imagine so.
I think William will win. Oh, they're both from
I think they're both from North Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, Jack is too. Bold prediction from Skywell.
Big call. Nobody take that bet.
Oh, he
Okay,
took the
so-
right. Oh, that was huge. Actually huge. Okay, Skater.
Hey,
Oh, it's alright.
No worries.
For you, I just forgot to let you know I did.
that's okay. That's good.
I'm not sure I like the rats over Raelin.
Yeah, we were
Interesting.
talking about it, like, because if one of your hard matchups is like Weight and Fire, right? Rats can kind of help, but I don't.
No,
well,
I
Dr.
prefer.
Martin-
I much
they-
prefer Raelin in this matchup.
Yeah, Raelin is still better, right?
Yeah.
Like rats
There's
can
a-
kind of
yeah.
help, but not enough to drop Raelin.
Like with Raelin, Nilfheim does like.
Thank you.
He has 7 defense on height.
Right? Yeah.
7 instead of
It's
5.
so
It's
much
a big
better.
difference. Yeah.
And only 2 squads of rats isn't going to last long enough to make a difference.
It's just rats versus Nilf and Q9s. They are tough. Okay, so one god with Basilion defense just died. Ah my gosh.
Yeah, so 2 Gruts down isn't terrible. And then engaging Grimneck there.
It's only 12 Gruts, so any
That's true.
Grut loss is very harsh.
Yeah, at this point total,
Like if William doesn't get a big swing in like 2 or 3 turns, it's gonna be hard. But he will next turn he will be able. Okay, only 1 Grut. Next turn he will be able to take the init glyph. So probably not right now. Init will be huge. Like, I think it's setting up for a big swing turn on his OM3. So I think either right now you take init or next turn. Maybe next turn.
yeah, set up an
Yeah,
initiative
next
switch
turn.
for yourself.
Next turn, because if you take it now, Nilf will probably deny it. I think here it may be advancing Narak might be a good idea.
Advancing him to where?
To you see where the head of the dino of Grimnack is.
Okay, so on
These 3
that
spots.
side.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Because Nerak has to tank shots for the team. Like if you lose Nerak, it's not that big. If you lose
Alright.
3 more Gruts, it's a big problem.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah.
I think so. Okay,
Because
now it's going
you need
with
the Gruts to
Grimnack.
kill Nil.
But you see, like Nerak is just outside of where you need it to be. Because here, Shomp, okay.
Yeah,
And
Grimneck
here,
is
if
engaging
the
him.
orcs flow in, they will be outside of Nerak. So in my opinion, this turn I would have done Nerak and then next turn jump in. See here,
So
they
just
are
like-
all outside the river.
Yeah, that's true because
Okay, no, one. Okay, no, two are in. 2/4 are in the aura. Yeah. Did he take in it or no? He didn't.
Yeah, not yet. But I agree. I think he'll take it next turn.
Yeah, next turn probably.
Yeah. No, I think you're right though. Like if he moves Narek up a
I
little
don't
bit
know.
here, and then
you
like,
you are running out
develops-
of time too. Like okay, you move
Right.
right up. If Niflheim like gets 3 kills, it's
Yeah,
over. Right?
that's tough.
So yeah,
But I
think
could see
it
like
wasn't.
move up Narek and then like just because he's also
Yeah,
got
yeah.
some
Yeah,
guys
of
in the start
course.
zone still.
Of
so
course,
like
you
one
want
more
to do
turn
this,
there.
but the thing is, if you move up Nirak and then on his next turn Nilfheim kills 3 Gruts,
Then-
it stops
then,
everything.
yeah,
So
yes.
I think here he's doing like a middle, so. Oh my gosh. Oh, one
man.
Grut.
Okay.
Oh no, okay.
Or
he
that was the
attacks
green scale.
yeah.
Okay.
One on Nilf. No, one on a. Oh my
Another
gosh,
greenie.
the greenie can't roll defense.
Yeah, so
Because that's
2
two
greens
greenie
down.
ground. 2 or 3.
Let's
Two.
see, 2 there in those
2.
attacks, but then Grimneck also chomped 1.
Yeah, so
3.
So 3. So he's down to 3 greenies. What's the guy in the back? It's Isamu?
Let's see.
Yeah, it's Isamu. It's a it's a snow Isamu.
Oh yes.
That's so
that's
cool.
Snowy Samu.
Yeah, it's
that's
a
awesome.
snow Isamu.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go check
Arctic
that out.
Warrior.
I love the paint jobs.
Yeah, Trevine Knight does incredible paint
Yeah.
jobs. As those rats, you can like them or not. They have googly eyes.
They have good.
Yeah, googly eyes. I don't mind. Oof. So no
Let's see.
kills. Did he kill anything with Nilfheim? I don't think so.
Yeah, looks
Yeah,
like
no,
no
no.
kills.
But here, you see, that's what you have to do. Is like going farthest away from the fight, forcing Grimnak and Nirak to take multiple turns to like set up their big thing. That's very good. And blocking everything with the green scales. And see, like, if Trivia Knights manage to kill all the orcs, even Nilfheim alone can win versus the 2 heroes and Marku.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's his end game that he's looking
Exactly.
for there.
Yeah, that's how you play the match.
But
The
he
orcs
needs to kill
have
things while he's running away
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. The orcs have to attack Nilfheim, and Nilfheim has to kill the orcs and dodge them. You know, run away from them. Okay, so this is a Nerak turn. I would have put Nerak even further because, yeah, I would have put Nerak even further, just in the fight, and if he dies, he dies. That's life. Oh my gosh, Grimnak, those are wounds or those are life remaining? Grimnak has 3 wounds
that
already.
is
Yeah.
that is 3 wounds. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
shoot. Okay, so I think that was the one hit that came from last turn.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And if I'm still full life, it's looking hard for William. But you just need one big turn, one big swing at Nilfheim, and
Right. And
everything can
he's.
happen.
Let's see. This is his last turn. He probably takes initiative here, right? If he can get an initiative switch, he could probably have that big turn.
Yeah, there is like 1 layer, almost 2 layers of screen. Like, it's hard. Like, Jack set up really well. So, what's your favorite strong army or
My
bad
favorite
army?
strong army. Let's see. If I'm going cheese, the 2 I'll kind of think about. I like playing Glad Blast. It doesn't have the strongest matchups,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have a ton of like terrible matchups. I feel like. Well, depending on the point total.
Yeah.
At this point total, it's actually pretty bad. I think.
Yeah, in this point total, yeah.
Yeah. But like if you're just like, for example, just straight 500 cheese, like it doesn't dominate a lot, but it can play into a lot
I
of
like
stuff.
it, but there is too many bad matchups in my opinion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like matchups where you I almost auto lose this one. Yeah, I really think 10th with Raelin and Q9 are very hard matchups.
Okay.
And Nilfheim is winnable, but hard to.
Yeah, I mean, you do just need to be able to use all of those numbers really well.
Yeah.
And it does. Yeah, it can be like
It depends
matchup
on the map,
and map
because
too.
Gladiatron like small maps with like a big mountain,
Yeah.
like Turmoil. Gladiatron really like Turmoil. Okay, we got it. Yeah, you got. Okay, Trivanek got his initiative with the glyph he took in it. And no, I think this is a Green Knight turn, right? Yeah, this is a Green Knight turn, easy.
It's got to be one, right?
Yeah.
There's a great spot to put him right there. You can jump it. Well,
No,
If you
it
jump
has
on
to
it,
be
you gotta go
closer to
further, yeah?
Nilfheim. You have to threaten boosted attacks here, at least. Oh, maybe you can just set up here for a moment and then get your big attack. But like here, Nilfheim will fly away, like no problem. Okay, jump one rat. So yeah, okay. He has 2 orcs and there's 3 green scales and then there's Nilf. 2 orcs, 3 green scales in the wall. Okay, Trigger Knight didn't took risk. He just put 1 OM on the greenies, which is maybe the 1, maybe the X, and put all over 3 on Nilf.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I guess that makes sense,
Because,
right, with the
yeah, it
initiative
makes sense
switch?
because
Yeah.
you escape to lose in it. The greenies
I
are
could-
not gonna last 2 turns, right?
Right, exactly.
There are only 3 of them.
I
They
could
take
see-
boosted attacks here.
I could see number 1 being on green scales because
Yeah,
I don't
I can
think he has
see
a way to kill all 3, right? There's just 2 heavies in there.
1, 2, 3, 4. No, I think it doesn't have a way. So
Yeah, so 1's going to be at least safe.
maybe not because Grimnut could have maybe. No, he couldn't.
I don't think he
Yeah.
could have quite made it there.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the 1 is on the greenies. Would it be surprising otherwise? No, don't do that. Yeah. Solar Street is not very good anyway.
You don't think giving... Well, yeah, because if he's going all Nilf this round, or
Yeah.
mostly Nilf, yeah.
Yeah, Solar Street is pretty much like you're just giving rats a free skater. You're losing a grad that will take like
Yeah.
10 hours to get back to the
Get
fight.
him too far out of the way.
Yeah. Okay, let's go. It's a 4-1. Greenies, will he defend? 2.
And yeah.
Defends very well.
Oh, just 1 attack?
Yeah, actually just 1 attack. Only one
yeah,
grudge
just
was
developing
in.
more.
Yeah. So, Nilf, what do you do? Yeah, I think you just step a bit back and here you have to fight now. You attack the Gruts. You can try your luck on Grimnack too, but he has like, you will have 6 defense if Nira can hide.
Yeah, and if you're Nilfheim, you're not too worried
Oh,
about
no, he doesn't have height.
right?
Does he? Yeah, Nira has height. Okay.
You're at height, yeah.
So Gret, he's going for the Gret. Gret are dangerous here. 3. 3 defense.
Oh, nice.
6 on 6 dice. That's good roll. 1. 0.
Oh, no.
That's a bad roll.
Yeah, that's a bad
And
roll.
no. 2. Okay. 1. Well, that's what you expect. Okay.
So is
Grimnack.
that just 3 dead heavies? 1, 2, 3.
There's only 2. 2 heavies next to Grimnack.
There's 2, there's 1 dead heavy
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
so
there is 5 heavy. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's 7 left. I think there's 7 heavies left. Only. 1, 2. Oh,
It's
1
getting pretty
on the
low.
outcrop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think there's 6 left.
6 left?
Yeah, that's my guess.
Yeah, that's not great.
No, that's not great at all. Like, Nilf is still full life. You will get like.
Well, when Doc and I were talking about this earlier, it seemed like William had a really strong advantage going in as far as armies go.
No, I don't agree at all.
Oh, you don't? Really?
No, I don't. Only 12 Gruts like it's a heavy synergy army, you know, with a lot of support, Grimlock, Nerak, and I think in lower points total, it's harder because like you only have 3 squad of Gruts. If those die, you lose.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah, no,
and
that-
not even the whole 3 squad. It's like 10 Gruts. 10 Gruts die, you lose. Because what are you gonna do with 2 Gruts and Grimlock Nerak? What are you
Right.
gonna do Grimlock Nerak without Gruts? So yeah, I'm not okay. He's doing okay.
Oh, Nerak play.
Nerak, interesting. I would have gone for okay. He say no M's on greenies. Yeah, he did his one on Nilfheim, by the way, not on the greenies. I would have
Yeah.
done one on greenies maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the greenies attack are not to be like underestimated.
Right, yeah.
They are
and
very
even
strong,
like
like
being able to
3
reposition
times
a little
3,
bit
yeah,
too.
yeah.
I would have valued that a lot.
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. I didn't see the map well, so maybe there was a risk. All greenies dying and you lose your turn. That's terrible. You're not forced to take this risk, right? You're still in a good spot as William.
I'm just gonna move this text box real quick so that we can see the
Oh.
wounds on Nilf, because Nilf just took 2.
2, and that's huge. That's huge. Oh my gosh! Actually, those 2 wounds make a huge. And Nerak being able to engage here, very very good. Yeah, I think the OM on Nilf maybe cost him the game, you know. Because
might
here, if you kill 1 or 2 greenies more and Nerak can't pass, that's a whole different thing. But we'll see. But it's a risk. It's more risky.
So I'm curious, let's see. So saying that 12 heavies is super fragile.
Yeah, I think so.
I think there's one
Versus
other army
Nilfheim,
that's doing.
because like 4 attack is gonna
Right.
kill stuff even with 4 or 5 defense, right?
So I think there's another army that's running, instead of Nerak Marku, it's got another squad of heavies.
Yeah,
Do you prefer that?
I think I prefer that, but I don't like both.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Trivide Knight is like, I'm not taking the risk of having all my 3 greenies die, but I think he had to take it. Because like losing those 3 attacks and the repositioning, yeah, so...
Yeah.
But it's not over at all.
Oh yeah, no,
it
wait,
is a
like
game.
it's really because it's easy for Q23 to get a couple really good rolls and just stomp from
Yeah.
here. It's also easy for Nilfheim to just go off on a tier 2. So
Those are the important turns right now. Is this guy engaged with Nilf?
yep, and that's
Yeah, he
even
is.
ground, right?
So
Yeah, that's even ground.
3. Oh my god, 2 school. Okay, 3 defense. Okay, just 1 attack. I think it was on a greenie because rolled 5. No, it was on Nilfheim. Okay, double disengage. Oh my god, double disengage. That's gonna
Oh
hurt.
wow.
Yeah, you have to do it because if you
Because
don't
you need the
disengage,
heavy kills.
Ooh!
Oh, 2 wounds.
Oh
That
my
hurts.
gosh.
Oh, that hurts.
That's a big.
Oh no.
And also, like, Q23 controls the board very well, and there is no safe spots for Nilfheim. I think he has to go in the Quagmire, like take a swamp bath and try to kill the 2 Gruts there. But one has Nerak and one will have Nerak and height. Oh my gosh, it's bad.
Yeah,
it's bad.
no, that's
The map was good for the Gruts, huh? Oh my gosh, these 2 wounds from Nerak to Nilf, and
that
then
was
from
big.
the
And then
disengage.
from the disengage?
Oh my gosh,
that's so quick
so
for
rough.
Nilf to lose one.
What
life.
is he
Right?
doing?
Th-
Okay, he's
right
going.
when Grim
He's
decks,
like,
you get boosted attacks.
yeah, but he's like, okay, I know what he's doing. He's like trying to get the kill on Grimlock with 4v6,
Oh, okay.
and I really don't know.
And if you can
that
get, it's,
seems super.
you
I
got to
don't
get
know,
super lucky for it. But if
Yeah.
it works, it works.
I
But if
don't-
you're going for Grimneck, do you still back up a little bit though? Because
Yeah, I
Right
would
now
have,
he could just get swarmed by Gruts again.
I don't get it. Okay, What is he doing? Like Grimlock has, yeah, it's Nilf is completely surrounded here. Ah, that's tough. Okay, it's gonna be on Grimlock. No, it wasn't on Grimlock.
Yeah, I think that one was
It's
Nirak.
bad roll,
That's a
0.
blank. Oh
yeah.
no.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, disengaged for
1.
nothing.
It's game. This is game.
Probably, yeah.
You bring Nirak in.
It's gonna be so easy
Take
to just kill
take a
him.
swing and
Nilf
then
here.
bring free grets.
Yeah,
Slash
3 attacks
slash
at
slash.
4. Yeesh.
Yeah, he's licking his lips now. He smells the food. And there's still Isamu, but no. Yeah, a bit. I think this one should have been on scales. Maybe I didn't look right, and they could have all died, but there was only 3 of them, so yeah. Grimknight Trump 1, then the 2 EVs. Yeah, 2 or 3 Vs. Yeah, it was risky for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a Grimknight win.
Yep, no surprises.
Yeah, it was looking. Nilf was getting pretty close on
Yeah.
getting to a good number of heavies remaining.
Nera got 2 wounds with a 3v4, and then double disengage. Got them
2 wounds, so
that's rough.
and then killed nothing in return. If he was able to kill a couple heavies in return, it would still be terrible, honestly.
Just attack with Nirak, you don't care. I just pound him. Pound on him.
But,
Okay, he's attacking a greedy.
The other heavy builds both beat 10th this round.
Really?
Yeah, people aren't playing that matchup right on the 10th side. I think maybe they're just a little too relaxed, but they're either putting Raelin too far forward, or they're leaving Raelin too far back, or they're going after the heavies and not killing Gridnak quickly enough. Like it's a variety of things.
Interesting.
I would go for the heavies.
I think you got to kill Grimnak because the chomp and the plus attack are both so important.
That's yeah.
You got to take Grimnak out early in that matchup.
Yeah, but Grimnak has 6 defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
5 or
usually,
6.
usually just 5.
Yeah, if you're shooting from, you should be able to shoot from good spots. But I think also, I feel like a lot of these maps are not super great for 10th too.
For sure.
And there's a couple, like Flex and Chart is great for them, but...
And Nilf is dead, and it's a GG
Right, yeah.
for Jai.
What, make choices difficult? What is this? And we're back. Let's pop over to the game stream. We've got Sir HeroScape on the board. Let me move this around real quick. We're going to have Sir HeroScape versus Chompy. We're going to have a melee throwdown. And we're back at 9:40 this time, so not running late this time. Happy. Let me go ahead and change the names on the board, and we'll get things ready.
I think I picked a good one for you. It's the classic.
Oh yeah.
Classic Orc versus Knights. I have to go make a phone call.
Oh, okay.
I might come back in a bit. We'll see.
Yeah, if you're able to, that'd be awesome. But if not, that's fine either way. But yeah, so we're gonna have Knights versus Heavies. This is gonna be a good time. Let's see. Let me just make sure I get the numbers right for Sir HeroScape real quick. Yep, just Sir Gilbert, Knights, Isamu. Gonna do the stats first. 5 move, 1 range, 3 attack, or defense. I'm actually really interested to see how this goes. Oh, hang on. Not heavy grudge Knights of... Gosh, come on. Come on, Taylor, you're not that tired. X4. Maybe you are that tired. I think people will find this fun. While walking by a table earlier, I heard players are setting up their games, or their armies, and one asked the other, it's not a problem if I never leave my start zone, right? That's Mr. Chompy to you. Ah, dang it. tried to just copy paste. It didn't work. Okay, so we got Grimneck, 5 life, 5 move, 1 range, 2 attack, 4 defense, and then we've got 4 squads of heavy guards this time. And they will be... You are totally correct. Thank you very much, Sparrowhawk. Let me click and drag those over. Thank you for pointing that out. Which means I did more work than I needed to because we already had heavies on the left side earlier. And for some reason I got in my head that I would have to change that over, but did not need to. Alright, let's just mess with that. There we go. Still got Dagmar, still got Scylla Astrid, same map as earlier. And this will be a fun one. Okay, so, you know, I'm trying to think if I've ever really seen knights and heavies played together. I must have at some point, right? Like those are both such classic armies. But I can't quite think of like any definitive like games that I've seen, like for like in the cheese format, that kind of stuff. I've definitely seen it like casually and such, but I'm just trying to think about like how do you or who might be favored here, how you play into each other. Honestly, I think so. Without Narek, you are losing defense with the heavies, but 4 squads of heavies is nice. And like we were talking with Foodsing earlier, it might be like having that better squad support is probably going to be a big deal in a lot of these games. So I don't really hate dropping Nirak and Marku for another squad of heavies when it's the difference between 3 squads of heavies and 4 squads of heavies. I think like they both definitely have different advantages and different disadvantages, and I think when it's 3 versus 4 squads of heavies, I think it's a fine call either way, really. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. So Foodsinger asked earlier what my favorite cheese build was, and I answered with Trons is one of them. The other one that I like to look at is Knights. So I'm a little bit biased in this, in that like I kind of hope that the Knights do well, because I think Knights tend to be a little bit underrated. I feel like people just say that they struggle into so many things that I just don't really feel like they struggle. If you're running 16 3-4 figures, that's just going to win games. Like, that's just going to win a good amount of games because you've got numbers and good stats, and good stats are good. So you can do and also, you know, you throw in Gilbert, and then you've also got a cool toolbox and other things that you can do. But, you know, just having good stats and numbers will pull a lot of weight in games, I feel like. So we'll see if Sir Heroescape makes that prediction look good or bad here. But that said, in this head-to-head with Knights and Grimnack, or Knights into Heavies, because Knights beat Heavies individually, right? They've got better stats, but then Heavies can get... You're more likely to have Grimnack on the closer to the front lines. You're more likely to be getting the bonus attack die from Grimnack, I feel like, rather than Sir Gilbert. But in this melee matchup, you're probably going to have Gilbert pretty close too. It is also a smaller map, so you don't need to be as close to the start zone for Jander's Dispatch. So yeah, so Gilbert's probably going to be decently close. If you can get Gilbert into Grimnack to try to like distract his chomps, that could be useful. But Grimnack being able to just chomp Knights is huge. So I think it... So I do think the deciding factor in this game is probably going to be Grimnack's performance. Like, if Grimnack... Well, so like how well Grimnack is able to survive some attacks. Because if Grimnack can just consistently chomp a Knight every single turn, just chomp, 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 he's going to get a strong advantage for the heavies really quickly, I think. Well, and by really quickly, I mean like over the course of a round, getting some consistent chomps, you know, a little bit more than a round, and it also is melee versus melee, so posturing matters a lot too. But I do think, like, you know, so Grimnack matters a lot here. And also how far you push with Grimneck is going to matter a lot too, because if Mr. Chompy lets Sir HeroScape get a surround on Grimneck, then that could be game over in the matter of a couple turns. So he needs to be cagey with Grimneck, definitely needs to utilize Grimneck and leverage Grimneck's, both the aura and the Chomp. But needs to be really careful to not let Sir HeroScape get a surround back on him and just steal the game. I think if Grimneck stays alive, okay, obviously if Grimneck stays alive the whole game, then it'll be because Chompy has won. But I think, if Grimneck's being leveraged well, Chompy's got the edge. But if Sir HeroScape can, either through Chompy positioning, or even we've got Dagmar on the board, right? If Sir HeroScape can grab Dagmar for a good initiative switch at some point, then I think Sir HeroScape can do a ton of damage to Grimneck very quickly and probably take the game that way. So that's kind of what I expect to see. So with that in mind, Sir HeroScape has got his third order marker going here. Moving a little bit slower with the Knights, which I don't mind. If you're playing melee versus melee, you want to have more of your melee in the same spot. And it looks like Chompy has kind of, he's not totally strung out. I think he's trying to grab this high ground spot and establish a good foothold here. But that is leaving more than half of his heavies in the start zone. So he, if he's pushing this far, again, you don't want to leave Grimneck unprotected and give Sir HeroScape the chance to get a couple good turns into heavies and start attacking Grimneck. So I think he needs to, at this point, slow down a little bit and just bring up heavies and totally surround, well, not totally surround Grimneck, but you know what I mean. I know what I mean. Hopefully you know what I mean. But get more heavies around Grimneck so that he's got the numbers to be able to contest. Because auto-killing squads is amazing. When there's 16 of that squad on the board, it's still really good until those 16 figures surround you. So I think Sir HeroScape is doing exactly what he needs to do with just moving up these Knights. I'd love to see him pop a Knight up onto that double hex dungeon spot so that Grimneck, actually, that's a good question. Because if Grimneck jumps onto that double space spot, sure, he's got 5 defense, but you've got all your Knights right there. I wonder if Sir HeroScape leaves that spot open just as a trap, saying yeah, come here, come at me with Grimneck. I'd love for you to throw Grimneck in here and to let my Knights just get at him. That could be a fun play if he goes for that. But at the same time, Chompy could just be I won't put Grimneck there, but I will put a couple heavies there and get a couple swings down. Because, you want to get a little bit of an advantage with the squads. Also looking at, what kind of end game do you want here? If it comes down, say the squads traded evenly, with everything going on, Grimneck just kill. Well, I don't know. It's because with Chomp, how statistic. I'm getting my words a little mixed up here. I believe that if it came down to a Gilbert versus Grimneck endgame, I believe Grimneck ends that. Assuming no wounds. I think Grimneck statistically would roll a successful Chomp on Gilbert before Gilbert killed Grimneck. I believe that's correct, because it's a 16 or higher, which if you're just rolling once, isn't the best odds for sure. But if you're just wailing on each other, then I think Grimneck gets that Chomp faster than Gilbert kills 5 life 4 defense Grimneck. I'm sure at some point somebody with a lot of math knowledge will see this and will be able to run those numbers for us. I just need to get those formulas that I learned in high school and college for running those probabilities. I loved those formulas, and I just don't remember them. that was like part of my favorite part of math was being able to check that. Partially because I was playing HeroScape at the time, and so I'm like, ooh, I can use this to check dice numbers. But then I've just forgotten how to run those numbers. My math teacher would be upset, but you know, it happens. She was already upset at me for other reasons, I'm sure. I was a good student, but not a great math student specifically. All right, so we've got Order Marker 3 on Chompy. So Sir HeroScape did run in a Knight to get a swing down on a Heavy Gret there in the shadow. Wasn't successful. I feel like that's... I don't think Sir HeroScape needed to do that. You know, if it works, cool. If it doesn't work, I think I would have tried to hold it back, especially because... Again, if you're trying to make the that double hex look enticing as a landing spot for Grimnack, I do think I'm gonna have to ask Sir HeroScape this afterwards, because I think this would be very I could totally see him do this, because I know he likes to try to bait players kind of like I do. So I'd love to ask him and see if he is intentionally leaving that double hex open for a Grimnack spot. I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing. And I wonder if that's what Chompy's trying to decide right now, like, oh, do I go for it? Do I not go? I mean, it looks so much fun, right? Like, you know, if you think about it for a little bit, you're like, of course it's not a great idea. You're going to have Knights right there. You've got Gilbert right there for the aura to attack onto Chompy. But I think Sir HeroScape is trying to bait him in, either for Grimnack or, you know, more likely, even Heavy Grets coming in and swinging down on Knights, because the Knights, it'd be a 4v4 onto the Knights, but the Knights have Gilbert right there. They're going to get 4v4s right back into the Heavies. And if you can kind of invite Chompy to rush things out and kind of spread himself out doing that, it's going to make it harder for him to resupply and reinforce his position. I think that's going to give you an edge in the long run. So I think this is a baiting play from Sir HeroScape, and I'm here for it. I love it. Chompy's deciding to not use Grimnack, which is the correct choice. Well, I don't know. You could run back Grimnack and just chomp that Knight, because you know you're not in a rush to get Grimnack into the action. So you could just move back, chomp the Knight, and then cover that hex with Heavy, so that you know Sir HeroScape doesn't get a good dispatch and take hide on you next turn. I think that's probably, you know, the play, but again, like Sir HeroScape's obviously not in a rush. Chompy doesn't need to be in a rush, so if he's moving up and attacking with Heavies, that's also okay. You can see the edge of Mr. Chompy's impressive beard poking into the frame there. I know Matthias likes to run a Beards of ScapeCon picture, trying to make a calendar here, and Mr. Chompy is one of the best mascots for that. All right, so Heavies do kill that Knight. Again, I think that's just a kind of unnecessary loss for Sir HeroScape there, but 2 17s for initiative, and Chompy wins it, which I think Sir HeroScape is more than happy to see. So I think, again, Sir HeroScape is slow rolling, and especially in these melee versus melee matchups, I'm always happy to lose initiative. Like, let my opponent come to me a little bit more. It kind of, you know, not that your opponent has to, but I think a lot of the times with these games, there's like that kind of psychological element where, like, you know, you don't want to sit back. You don't want to do nothing on your turn, right? Not that Chompy would be doing nothing. He's moving up Heavies and stuff, but it feels weird to be playing so passively. And so I think Sir HeroScape or Chompy, either way, should be very happy to see their opponent kind of squirming with that and moving forward. where really, you should just be reinforcing where you're at, whatever ground you're trying to take. Like, so for HeroScape, that's just the area that he's looking at right now. He can start crawling forward. I think he probably starts moving onto the other patch of high ground next. But instead, we've got Mr. Chompy's making a play. I think the pressure got to him, and he's moving in. Grimneck's too hungry. He's seeing some knights, and he wants to chomp. Which I definitely think it's too early for this play, though. So he will get to chomp one of these knights. He'll also get an attack. I mean, it'll be good for a second here, right? Like, so gets a chomp. He's going to be rolling an attack die here. And he's got good landing spots for his heavies. Like, that is all correct. He's got a good place for a chomp. I mean, I don't love that knights can potentially get height on him, but probably won't be for a second here because he can block it off with heavies. No, you should take the level 2 there, Mr. Chompy. Oh yeah. So he can push in a little bit. So he's got like 2 attacks of 4 with heavies. He's got an attack of 5. It'd be better if he had another heavy in there to take the other level 2 spot. But so it's okay for this turn, but long term I don't think it's going to work out.
How are we doing?
We've got our first Grimneck chomp happening. I think Chompy's pushing Grimneck a little too far.
I have to say so.
I think so. Sir HeroScape left this 2 hex right there on level 3, 2 hex open there. I think he was trying to bait Chompy in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as soon as you said that, I immediately thought of the meme with Mad Max, like pointing his finger up and going,
Yeah,
that's bait.
Yeah, no, I'm certain that's bait. Like, he wants Chompy to come in there.
I'm just looking here. I'm just seeing, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 unmoved heavies.
Yeah.
You can't have Grimneck that far up.
No,
absolutely not. Like, this has got disaster written all over it. And look, if Grimneck blocks a round of attacks here, it can work out. But it is you're just getting hit so many dice. Grimneck is the core of this army. Mm-hmm. But the way you want Grimneck to happen is Grimneck engages one thing kind of on the edge of a formation, chomps it, and then heavies fill in around it. And you are absolutely comfortable in most matchups almost never attacking with Grimneck. Grimneck gets his chomp and has nothing engaged with him after he chomps, so that and then just gets filled in with heavies. Because the attack of 2 is just, it's not that significant in most matchups, especially in the cheese format.
Right.
It's significant in something like a cutters matchup, which is not something you're going to see in cheese.
Yeah.
It's not, but it's not significant in this matchup. So.
Yeah, no, because Sir HeroScape's got just like not such a nice slow roll here too.
Yeah, he's been very patient with, which, I mean, this is why. Look, I'm known as the range guy, right? But I play my share. I play Torkoal now, which is melee, but this is why I hate playing pure melee versus pure melee. It is my least favorite matchup. I like playing melee into range. I like both sides of it. I like playing range into range, although it can be boring in some matchups. But melee versus melee to me is the worst, and the reason it's the worst is because both players have no reason to rush.
Yeah.
You could end up in a situation where, like, you could have imagined a scenario here where, like, the knight army fills up all the high ground on one side of the middle road, and the heavies fill up all the high ground on the other side of the middle road, and there's like,
they're just gonna stare.
They stare at each other, and then maybe you get like somebody Grimneck tries to chomp and advance off at an OM3 where they lost initiative. You could absolutely see a scenario where that's the way this matchup developed. Mm-hmm. And it almost feels optimal, which is not fun for me anyway. But in this case, Chompy's just way too far forward with that Grimneck, and I really think, we have 3 knights down, so like it's kind of working out at the moment. But if Grimneck dies in the next 2 order markers, I think Sir HeroScape's going to win the game, because you'll have essentially the same base defense if Nirak's not involved. Oh no, this is the no Nirak build, right? This is just 4x.
Yeah, this is 4x.
So it's 4x versus 4x. So it'll just be, you have an extra point of defense, and you have an extra attack, and you have an attack booster. Like if once Grimneck's dead, like this matchup really goes to the knights. But as I said, if Grimnack survives 2 rounds, 2 turns, and it's not over and it's not dead, I think actually it ends up working out for Chompy. I think it's an unnecessary risk. I think the heavies are very slightly favored in this matchup if you play it super careful.
Yeah.
Because you can do the kind of gnaw the edge of the formation, and Chomp is so good against a 4 defense knight.
Yeah, just being able to bite in and then get a guy where you want him.
Yeah, you can go up to the guy on the highest high ground, chomp in, put a heavy on the highest high ground now, attacking down on whatever else it is. So I think if in a careful matchup, I think the heavies are very slightly favored, but but that just and again, none of that means this isn't going to work out. It just means that I don't think it's worth the risk.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's going to be so easy because he doesn't even have like heavies in position to like reinforce the area very well. He could only run in with 3 when he went in with the Chomp.
And the contrast, I mean, our previous stream we also had heavies on. The contrast between how Chompy's playing it and how Q23 played it.
Right.
It's so remarkable. Q23, it was such a patient role, right?
Yeah.
And just waiting for the opportunity to move in. And I think, I mean, granted that was a different matchup, but I think if anything, this matchup like it gives you even less incentive to push, right? So. So I'm gonna take. I'm so bad at reading stream map. I'm gonna walk over there and I'll come back.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so 3 wounds hitting on Grimnack like right away. I think those are the only 2 attacks on Grimnack, so like Chompy's got that going for him. And then we've got a couple attacks going on to heavies that are not terrible rolls. Yep, there's a heavy gone. Yeah, I just don't think Chompy was able to get the again, they were like good short-term positions for the heavies, but just not going to work out long-term. And so Grimnack does chomp another knight, but 2 life Grimnack with so many knights right there. That's going to hurt. That's really going to hurt. Let's see. So Chompy is, I think he's still got 1 heavy on the other side of Grimnack, and then he's got 2 more surrounding him, so 3 in that area. Then he's got to figure out how to get heavies up in there. It's the thing with this kind of like, super risky, like aggressive kind of play. If you can't support it and have follow through for it, it just leans even more into the risk. Right? And you want to be able to support your risk. You want to be able to hedge your bets. Risk Management 101 from Big and Bullfrog here. Which, JK, of course, because as I've already said a few times on stream, I'm not the person to talk to about risk. I'm not a great risk judge, but I can tell you when Grimnack's in a dangerous position, and that is now, because knights are going to get at least 2 attacks on Grimnack next turn. Two, 3 into 4s. That's got decent odds there.
He took out the one, so it's a little bit of a suboptimal move there because he could have moved up the one that's on the shadow to take that heighted shot. But he moved up one that was a little closer.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like it's it feels marginal when you talk about stuff like that, but it's the difference that it's those little decisions that are what lead to you getting strung out over the course of a match.
Right.
But the bigger issue is that's 3 wounds on Grimnack.
Yeah.
He's only lost 1 heavy, but the reason he's only lost 1 heavy is because. So here Escape has been trying to kill Grimnack.
Yeah.
He's concentrating on Grimnack. Basically, he's lost, what has he lost, 5 or 6 knights at this point?
I believe it's 5. I think that was his first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8.
I'm trying to see him there.
Oh, right there. Oh, yeah, that is 6 knights.
Okay. So he's debating here whether to attack the heavy or. So he took a leave so that he can boost 2 shots into Grimnack. It was a risk to stay where he was. If he kills that heavy, then he gets a heighted boosted shot on on Grimnack. So, but that would have been a 3v4. Which, it's not super high stats, and so HeroScape knows he's just got to get the kill on Grimnack. Maybe this turn. Or even if at a certain point, even if Grimnack goes down, you've just lost too many knights, and you'll just lose the numbers game in the end.
That's true too, yeah.
Like I said, it's really you want to kill Grimnack. If Grimnack's going to be exposed like this and just chomping freely and boosting everything, you want to kill him in like 2 turns. Which is entirely doable if you get a bunch of attacks of 4 on it.
For sure.
So at this point, he's just setting up where he's going to get 2 attacks of 4 right up front into Grimnack. That's why he moved Gilbert back to that spot where he could get two guys in to boost it.
Is it worth grabbing Sola Astrid for the bonus attack die into Grimnack?
I would at this point. I mean, you are going to get attack down is the downside, but I think I would probably. You can try to attack the orc that's on the shadow there. If you get your boosted shot into so if you move 2 guys into the spots that can attack Grimnack, and you move 1 guy to where it can attack that orc on shadow. If you kill Grimnack with the 2, then you attack down for 4 on that guy. It's a 4v4, and you potentially killing Grimnack, killing that guy, and he's got nothing to take Soul Astrid back. And
right. Yeah, that would be great.
I think. Oh, did he hit a high dispatch roll? Did he dispatch onto the glyph? He did.
Did he?
He might have. If he did, that's pretty gross.
I didn't catch the dispatch roll, but yeah, that
a high dispatch roll in a moment like this can be a huge thing.
Yeah.
It basically gives you a free attack. So two dice on Grimnack.
Yeah, that's a dead Grimnack.
There it is. So that at this point now he's got that attack down we were talking about. Did he get him?
I don't think so. I saw a couple shields there, but yeah, he blocked it.
So there you go. So he must have actually had to move that guy, the guy on Soul Astrid. It was not a high dispatch roll, because if it had been a high dispatch roll, that would have been a free move, and then he would have.
Yeah, gotten a couple more attacks in there. Yeah, so now he's just got to be able to.
Well, I mean, he's down. He's down knights. He's 6 against. So he's down. So he has 10 knights and Gilbert
versus about 15 heavies.
15 heavies. I mean that should be a win for the knights because they have better base stats. They're
right.
And on top of that, you have an extra attack from Gilbert and Gilbert's
the attack
boosting
boost.
attacks. So,
yeah.
I mean, it should be. You can just play it careful. That's initiative on top. You're not worried about that. You just cover Sola Astrid, and you grind heavies, and you're good. Mm-hmm. It's pretty paint by numbers from here out. Just play good solid airscape, take height.
Do things well.
Things are going to stay engaged. Now, I mean, if you're chompy at this point, you actually could fall back and try to recollect your army on the second high ground. But you are going to have to attack. You are, because you're behind on points at this point. Well, are you? I guess you're not technically, right?
Yeah, he might have a point lead because he has killed enough knights. So there are 2 squads of knights down
now. No, it's only 135. It's only 105 points of knights that are dead. So
no, it's 2 squads.
It's 2 squads. If it's 8,
yeah, it's
140.
8 now.
So you're slightly ahead on points. You could just fall back and try to use height advantage. It's going to be tough, but you could try. Skywhale, I bet someone in North Carolina is going to say. Oh, that was the previous match.
Yeah.
It's like, these guys are
That was at least 2.
It's hard to read the symbols in time. There's just too many dice dropping. Cleon was hitting 4s and 5s against me all over the place. I played against the army that he had. That you saw it on stream.
Oh, the one. Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's
yesterday. He had very hot dispatch rolls against me. It was very tough.
Yeah, no, actually, because I was typing up the army, so I had the text box right there while that happened, and then I took down the text box like, how did a repulsor get to the middle of the map already?
Yeah, pretty funny. You can send them flying.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to take down that one heavy that can take out Solar Astrid. Should probably move. The problem is if you want the heighted attack on Solar Astrid, then you're giving up the heighted attack on that heavy on the next order marker. So it's this kind of stuck spot. You really want to bring more heavies around the bottom of the map so that you can cover the high ground and attack Solar Astrid. You really want to control that area.
Mm-hmm.
One heavy can't really do much in that spot. Now we're starting to see that's the second heavy casualty. It's probably good. Nope,
that's a blink.
That will not do it. That it. So heavies are holding up for the moment. But that was the Gilbert attack. Okay. No, it wasn't. Oh, he's just decided.
No, yeah.
Block there again.
Mm-hmm. Then one more over by the grid.
Over by initiative, maybe.
Yeah, they've got 2 guys just hiding on the other side of there.
Just a duel.
Yeah.
No, but I would be. I guess if I were Chompy, I wouldn't necessarily fall back, but I would not push more guys into that grinder up top. I would just try to get my start zone heavies onto the height on my side of the map.
Okay.
Just to collect, because right now you're just too strung out.
Yeah, no, that's my worry right now. But yeah, because I could see like moving this guy, or I think he might even be adjacent to a knight there.
Yeah.
Like take the height attacks while you can, but
while you
build up
their
more.
fields, yeah.
Yeah.
More dispatching. I feel like that was a very quick chompy turn. It must have just been quick attacks, quick blocks. It wasn't that.
Oh no, that was initiative.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I was
so
gonna say,
Sergio's got the initiative.
I missed it. I missed the. I was like, did I miss a whole chompy turn? Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. So 7 knights down now. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's 2 knights. 8 knights down.
Yeah, 8 knights down.
So it's actually. I mean, but there was 3 heavies down. I mean, it should add up, right? So.
Yeah. Like if he can.
Here you go. So now it's taking height on those last couple heavies. He's probably. I mean, he's really just looking to kill the 3 heavies that are in that area and not much else.
Yeah. If he can clean up that front little area and just get rid of the ones that, especially the ones that are. I mean, he's got a shadow guy. I guess he's taking better position, so he's not going to be taking too many more heighted attacks.
Yeah.
Probably.
Right.
But I think you're not quite comfortable until you get rid of that potential.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I'm confident, but not comfortable if I'm Severe Escape here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm favored, but there's still a lot of heavies, and I'm down on numbers. Until I bring the numbers even, I'm not comfortable.
Yeah.
There's not enough heavies left. There's still enough heavies left that if I go on a bad run, I don't think Gilbert can deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
But now the numbers are a little more even.
Don't click that link.
Is you just getting spammed here?
Yeah, we've had that a little bit. In fact, can I delete chats? Maybe not. I don't know enough about Twitch to mess with that too much. So.
Settings? Or can you click on the user? So like a right click there.
There we go. Services.
Mute.
We can mute that guy. Hopefully that mutes it for the normal chat.
Does that edit? Does Dongle do anything useful? Or is that an edit?
See this.
No, it's a reply.
That's reply. That's a. I don't know what the camera is for.
Is there a right click on the banner that does anything? Or no? Services? Is that doing anything? No.
That music, spoken track, game finder. Yeah, no.
All right. So now we're up to 4 dead. Make it 5. Yeah, I mean he just came in and brought more guys into that low ground. I don't think that's gonna get it done. Do you know how to delete a chat message?
We've just got a few spam things with bad links. Sweet, thanks. Yep.
Beautiful.
And Knight's just continuing to do work that's...
Yeah, I think that was basically I mean, you know, it's Hero Escape, things happen, but that was basically the end. At this point, if I'm Hero Escape, I've gone from just confident to confident and comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like just 7 heavies remaining.
Yeah, you almost just brought it even on numbers, and obviously your position is completely dominant. You have Sola Astrid on top of everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You can just very slow roll onto the height there. You can sit there. You're up on points. You can basically say, "Hey, come and get it." If they, to play for the initiative switch, you can jump on them, on top of them, because dispatch gives you the potential to move. Basically, you could sit there and not basically hold your position if your dispatch is bad, and try to overwhelm them if your dispatch is good.
Yeah.
It's just a really strong spot to be in.
Yeah, I think Sir Hero Escape's pretty happy with where he's at. I love the bait play. I love it.
Yeah.
I love trying to bait people, and it goes wrong for me maybe too much because I'm not that great at it.
Sometimes people try to get too cute. It's part of the game, but
I try to Raelin bait too much and then just lose her.
Yeah, that's maybe a little too cute sometimes. But this was great. I mean, this was essentially squad bait. And I think, like I said, I believe that the heavies are favored in this matchup, but they have to be played very, very slowly. You're basically you basically don't want to attack with Grimnack until endgame. You want Grimnack single engage, chomp, cover the gap with a heavy, and just keep doing that.
Are they doing prize wall stuff over there?
I don't know. I guess so. Were we gonna prize haul this week?
Maybe. I don't know.
Didn't we prize haul on Sunday? Last time? Like there's a lot of Hero Escape left to be played.
Yeah, right.
I'm giving up prize table points by not playing this round. That's alright.
Yeah, no, sorry. We should get some way to get join the stream, get some prize table points.
People will be clawing each other over each other to get it.
Get a point for each follower that joins during the stream while you're on.
So what is he coning for here? Just trying to figure out threat ranges, I guess? I don't know.
Let's see what. Yeah, I think that's where those two heavies can move.
This may be a little psychological game here. Be like, oh no, I'm going to give you this attack. Oh no. Please don't attack me in the spot where I have height advantage.
Right? No, don't take first strike on me. Where I can resupply.
Or I can murder your guy with a boosted Gilbert and a boosted, or a heighted Gilbert and a boosted knight. I mean, the thing is, what does he got? He's still just at 8 knights there, or does he have?
Yeah, there've been a couple more.
I'm gonna walk over and get it.
Okay, yeah, I think there's 10 off the board.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Hey, Bodacious Blood, good to see you in the chat. Traffic cones are giving Toy Story energy a new stealth mechanic. I love it. When do we get that unit? Renegade, make it happen. Toys hiding under traffic cones. I'm sure they'll be super dangerous, but... No, I agree. I need to get some mini traffic cones so that I can mark out my games. Just seeing all the tricks that people do here at ScapeCon is very fun. Let's see, but yeah, I'm pretty sure there's... You usually use pennies? Yeah, I usually use like dice or moon markers for some things, but like traffic cones are just next level.
It's a 6 on 7. 6 knights, 7 heavies.
6 knights, 7 heavies? Okay. Yeah, it's going to be so hard for the heavies.
Yeah, because it's a 5 life Gilbert. And Isamu for that matter, not that it really matters in this matchup.
Right.
No filler on the other side. This is I'm not sure about this choice to. Is he? He might be baiting there. I don't know. I wouldn't be baiting at this stage though. Okay, there he goes. Now he's being a little more conservative, which is probably the right decision. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so...
So there's one knight that we can't see well that's on the other side of the rock. Okay, so he was dispatching him. So he's going aggressive.
Oh, that was dispatch. Okay. I was like, if he's going to stop there, then that's...
So he's going aggressive, which, I mean, he can. He doesn't have to.
Right.
But he can. I probably wouldn't have, but I guess maybe he's just figuring, well, okay, so who won initiative this round? Is this the last order
This is... Trumpy has one more.
Oh, I would not have done this.
Yeah.
I just feel like... I mean, not that... It's not terrible. I don't want to overstate it. I just don't think it's a necessary risk. I think you make. I would have dispatched to move everything to one side. Oh, sure. I mean, you have the advantage either way though. And what I would have done is I would have used dispatch to completely put everything on height on one side, which basically forces Chompy to either run into height and then or pass the round. You know. I mean, you can do it either way. It's going to work, is the upshot, because he killed the heavy that was on the bottom there. So now he's complete control of that end of the map. So, although, is that a heavy killed the knight that was on Sola Astrid. So
yeah, got Sola Astrid. He missed the one on Dagmar, but that was also, like, taking Dagmar that turn when a heavy could get height advantage on him.
Yeah,
that seems questionable, yeah.
I think it was a little too aggressive.
But he held Dagmar.
I mean, the bottom line is he still has a full life Gilbert. It's very hard for things to go south for him at this point, because at this point he's almost at the stage where if he loses his knights, Gilbert could probably clutch it out.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, obviously you don't want it to go that way. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like I would have rather kept everything together, just ground heavies on one side, like maybe even move everything down to the bottom, ignore the heavies on the top of the map, concede initiative, just take out one heavy in that turn, the one that's on the bottom of the map, or the one that was on the road there, and just move everything down, and then if you win initiative, or or on your next turn, if you're not attacked, you kill the heavy by Sola Astrid. At that point, there's what, 4 heavies left? Yeah, there 5 heavies left maybe, and you still have 6 knights. That's game. I mean, I think.
Yeah,
but to be fair, he's going to win either way, and he was in a very strong position.
Yeah, I think it's more just about like trying to minimize the ways that Chompy can come back into the game by some kind of dice fluke or something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's we're talking about like a game that he's 85% to win, and did he give up 5%
right,
by a more aggressive play? Did he move it down to an 80%? I mean, in my opinion, he did. But it's gonna 80% is still 80%.
Yeah, it's still gonna work because that first turn for him there. I think is that just one heavy remaining on the board there.
There's the one down on the bottom that is by
so yeah, that guy there.
And then
I think there was a guy behind the tree.
Yeah, that one was hiding. I couldn't even see it when I went to the map. He had to point it out to me. It was well hidden.
All gas, no brakes on Sir Hero Escape. It is a non-brand move. That is true.
At the same time, he won this game because he got Mr. Chompy to go super aggressive at the beginning.
Yeah.
And take that Grimnack play that led to the Grimnack's death. So, but the thing about it is, if your opponent does do a hyper aggressive thing like that, it makes it very easy for you to play defense. There's no temptation to go rush if your opponent has Grimnack in your face. You're just dealing with Grimnack. So. If his instincts are to be super aggressive, then Mr. Chompy did not allow him in the beginning of the game to give in to his impulses.
To give in to his impulses.
Right. He basically forced him to play the defensive game, which was probably what he should be doing. So this looks like it's going to be well, I don't know what's going on with the other two heavy builds, but this looks like it might be the first loss for the heavies. But as the heavies progress through the format, you have to figure the Q9s should be beating the Weight Then Fires. Although actually no, I saw a couple Weight Then Fires beating. I've seen there's been a bunch of upset of my rock. If you go by my rock paper scissors analogy from earlier, I've seen rocks beating papers and papers beating scissors a couple times already.
Really?
In that we've seen the heavies beat 10th in a couple matchups already today.
Yeah.
And we've seen the 10th Raelin beat Q9 in a couple matchups.
Interesting.
Too. So it can happen.
Right.
These are
well, and I think
these are no more than like 2/3, 1/3 matchups. Which is that's a big margin, but it's still not 1/3 happens.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time with like cheese, or at least when I hear like, I guess like the light discussions without going into depth about it, I think people sometimes tend to like simplify it a lot with like either like the rock paper scissors is totally correct, but it's not like an automatic win.
Right.
You can still make it really close games,
and there's pitfalls in all those matchups.
Yeah.
I've had the same conversations with because a lot of, unsurprisingly, people will come to me and ask how to play Rats Q9 Raelin. And I've had the same conversations with a bunch of people like, okay, this matchup you want your Rats and Raelins aren't. This matchup you don't. Like all these, how far forward should I place my Raelin? Where should my order? There's a lot of subtleties, and if you haven't played those matchups, it's easy to make a mistake, expose your Raelin too much, not get your Rats involved enough, get your Rats involved too much too early. Like you can absolutely make it not a great matchup if you go the wrong way.
Yeah, and a lot of these armies just have like enough power that if you
mistakes get punished.
Yeah, mistakes get punished. If you try to go on autopilot at all in a favored matchup, you can get hurt real easily.
For sure.
Which I've learned the hard way a lot.
Looks like how many heavies do we have left here?
Just the one.
And so he's over on the right there.
Yep.
He's playing games.
Just hanging out.
Okay. He's gonna try to get an attack, and it'll probably be this last. This will be a 3-on-5. Nothing.
Oh dear.
You can see the frustration there.
Yeah.
Gonna roll for dispatch. Try to bring the others up. What do you get? You got a 2, and that guy can't see him. Oh, well, they're gonna cheat. That's cool. Oh no, that was his regular move. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
So he's gonna start with probably the 5 on 3 to try to win it. No, he just started with the 4. Yep, that's it.
Yep. Jumping back into it, we've got another game with 2 people who haven't been on stream yet, which is great because I love watching our regulars, but it's also good to see new people. So, just a second while I get these armies ready. So you got Valda and Wanik. Down here we've got Valda. That there, put that there. All right, and then, so in this game we've got Siegfried versus, oh shit, I forgot the other username. Siegfried and I'm trying to remember, but I'll just also pull it up. Earthling, that's right, that's right. And we've got a mirror match going down. It's going to be Doc's favorite mirror match ever, probably. Maybe, actually probably not. Q9, more life. Defense. We have Deathreavers X2 at this point. Is that right? No, X3. We can get 3 Deathreavers at this point total. Man, it's so good. For defense. And then Isamu or anything like that in these armies? Oh, they both have market, that's right. Seven move, 1 range, 4 attack, 1 defense, and there we go. You just think it's going to be a rough watch because it is going to be a rough watch. I mean, because...
Okay.
You ready for this?
Let's talk about the Q9 mirror, folks. So this is I have played this matchup before. What are our glyphs here?
We've got Wanok and we've got Valda.
Okay, so those are almost utterly irrelevant in the matchup because they both included Marku.
Yep.
And Valda is just not that important. Okay, I should say there are 2 ways you can play this matchup. So right now we immediately have order markers on rats on both sides. Is that true?
Yep. There was also 1 Raelin that's popped up behind the ruin.
So that's good. I like that position on Raelin. You just want to support a middle position for your Q9 in a way that's hard for the other Q9 to shoot at. In this matchup, there is a reasonable argument for not putting an order marker on rats. And just going, I'm going to shoot the other guy's rats, especially if they're not in the aura, or really I'm just going to shoot at Raelin. I'm going to shoot at Q9. If you can shoot at your opponent's Raelin, so where is Siegfried's Raelin?
His Raelin. Let me move this real quick.
Still in start zone.
I believe so.
Yeah,
Yep, still up back there.
So, if your opponent sits start zone and you have your Q9 in that position, then you can get some 5 on 3s on Raelin, and that is 1,000% worth it in the matchup. If you can kill the opponent's Raelin, then you should be able to win the Q9 shootout. And but there is another path, especially with a Valda glyph, where you bring up a bunch of rats, then you take Valda, quad engage or triple engage Q9, and then do it again and try to like get like 6 rats on Q9. And then you bring Raelin up
Oh, okay.
on top of it.
So he has to claw through all
so-
that 6 defense before he can get.
And then you bring up Q9 and you just shoot and you try to win that way. It is very hard to pull off, but if you do, it's like an auto win. Because it just takes so much time.
Right. That's probably pretty map dependent too, right? Like, is this one where you think
I probably wouldn't do it on this map because it's better on a map where the sight lines are poor.
Oh, okay.
And the sight lines
Yeah.
are pretty. The interesting thing about most of the ScapeCon maps is the sight lines are actually pretty open on most of them, even though they're pretty melee friendly.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of jungle and it's a lot of just it's melee friendly because the height's in the middle, or it's melee friendly because there's road, as opposed to because there's lots of blockers.
Right.
So I would probably not do that on this map, but it is in the realm. And if it's a very defensive matchup and both people are kind of being really conservative, then it can work. But the rats are just not very good in this matchup, unsurprisingly, because both people are just special attacking the whole time. It's much like playing against. It's a little bit like playing against Nilf Green Scales, except with Nilf Green Scales, you still want the rats at least to block the green scales.
Right.
But here, the only thing you'd be blocking is the other guy's rats, which, again, like that brings up, like I said, that outside strategy of just try to throw rats at Q9 and tie Q9 down.
Yeah, especially if you don't think that they're going to be using their rats, then there's room for.
So I like this formational choice by Earthling though of Raelin on the height behind the ruin, and then rats inside the aura, so they're very difficult to grind even with Quiglix, but also just makes it hard for the opposing Q9 to get at Raelin. And the only way you could do that is if you went off to the side island, like by the Valdeglyph, that little sandbar there. But if you did that, you would be either outside Raelin's aura or you would have your Raelin exposed, neither of which are good. So you're basically, that Raelin is really pretty pristine, and I'm guessing we're gonna see that Raelin not get attacked for most of the game. So I think the early going, I like where Earthling is. I like that setup. I think it's probably gonna be fine. It just needs to get is Q9 shooting at the enemy Q9, or potentially, let's see, that Q9 in the start zone, how far up do you have to be to shoot at it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You need to be. Yeah, the problem with that Raelin placement is that if you're on the high ground in the middle, your Raelin can't see you.
That's true.
Now, if you could shoot the opposing Raelin from there potentially, although the line of sight blocker probably prevents it. So that is a little bit of an issue. It's just very map specific, because of that Raelin positioning, and because it's such a block on attacks up. You're really gonna have a hard time attacking the opposing Raelin. So I think the likely scenario here is that we are headed for a whole lot of 3v11s. Or 3v10s. We're headed for a whole lot of 3v10s of Q9 shooting Q9. And someone's going to win the 3v10 fight. Because if you bring up your rats to engage, it's unclear it's really going to save you. It's unclear it's really going to be worth the investment, I guess is the way I'd put it. Because, like, if you spend an order marker and a half effectively putting a rat on Q9, or I guess putting 4 rats on Q9 is like it's going to cost you kind of 2 order markers to do that. And then is it going to take the opposing Q9 2 rounds of 3v4s? They'll get 6 3v4s to kill 4 rats. So do your math. I'm actually going to check the probability tables on that.
Oh, there you go.
So that's actually an interesting question. I don't think it's worth it, in general.
So a 3v4 wound chance is 0.4. So
Okay.
if you get 6 attacks, that's going to be 2.4 roughly. A little more kills. So that actually makes it sound pretty decent, right?
Yeah, that's not.
That's so that argues for the Q9. Now that's only if Q9 is far enough up that you can get a rat from the start zone to a Q9 engagement in 2 activations. But if you do, then you can potentially move Raelin up to make him 4v6s, and then flood the zone. There's no disengage glyphs here, so that is another matter. The thing that becomes relevant in that case is that if there was a disengage glyph, you couldn't do it unless you held disengage, because otherwise your opponent could take disengage, the glyph, and then just run away, and then all of your movement was for naught, and your Raelin's getting shot at. So there's So Austin, I've never flipped a coin in this matchup, but I have agreed to sit everything except Q9 and done a Q9 duel in this matchup before.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It was only because it was irrelevant. Like it was in 3-headed Hydra, and we were both teams were eliminated, so I didn't care. If I were playing in a tournament, I would always want to play it out because I feel like I know this matchup better than most people do.
Right? Yeah.
And I do think that sort of rat rush strategy is viable and can swing the matchup. But like I said, it only works if you can get rats engaged onto Q9 efficiently, which isn't a guarantee.
And so it kind of seems like they might be trying to block again, or at least Earthling's got a wall of rats to probably.
But I see that wall of rats as a Raelin protectant more than anything. It's,
okay.
But maybe the goal here, because you can see his Q9 is still really far back. Has he even put an order marker on Q9 yet?
He did reveal one order marker. The number 2 for this round was revealed.
Did he just quickly? So here's a Q9 order marker. Let's see where he goes. So now, he's just moving up to next to the bush. Oh, I guess he's looking to see if he can pick off a rat. He's not going for anything but the rat. But the difference is that Siegfried's rats are not Raelin protected, whereas all of Earthling's rats, except the ones in the start zone, are Raelin protected. So they're not really worth attacking. Like 4v6s they're just not profitable in the matchup. You'd rather just shoot a 9 defense Q9 at that point. Because those rats aren't going to do anything. Max's rats are only really protecting Raelin. They're not protecting Q9 because Q9 is visible.
Well, I was thinking like blocking Q9 from a rat rush.
Yes,
kind of strat.
It is effectively doing that. If you're concerned about that, I wouldn't. Based on the layout, the rats are so spread out on Siegfried's side, but he does have move glyph, which is what you do in anticipation of setting that up. But Max maybe is anticipating that, and that's why he's set up where he is. So. How many rats are? I only see the 2 dead rats.
I think it's so 2 down for Siegfried. I know. Yeah, Earthling lost one earlier. He had grabbed Wannock and must have went on Wannock.
Yeah, I honestly wouldn't even grab Wannock in this matchup.
Yeah, I don't think that was needed.
It's not worth giving up especially when it's not part of your overall strategy. You're clearly walling up Raelin. I would just be like, cool, my Marku is gonna die first.
Yeah.
Zippity doo dah. I'm gonna
if you hold that for 6 rounds.
If you hold it, I get to shoot it for free.
Yeah.
So it's, I shoot it when I can't shoot Q9, because honestly, I'm just gonna be shooting Q9 if I can. Even with 10 defense, I just gotta take my odds. Unless I'm playing a different strategy, but where you have Raelin there. I mean, the thing is, Max's wall strategy here
it is potentially a prelude to a rat rush strategy. You could mass all of your rats on that line. Like basically, just go 4 to Raelin's right and 4 to Raelin's left, and just put them all there, and then grab Valda and rush 3/8 with rats. And it is actually, and then do that one more time on the next order marker, and then you move Raelin to the middle of the board, and then you move Q9 up, and you're in a very strong spot. And then you just put 1 order marker on rats each round for the rest of the game to reinforce your Q9 position, and you're basically reinforce your Q9 pack, and you're pretty set. At that point, you're free with Q9 to shoot at Raelin, or if Siegfried goes rats, then you're attacking 4 defense rats while your opponent's attacking 6 defense rats. So that's a win. So. I don't know. Maybe this is all a two-phase strategy on Max's part, and he thinks he's actually just massing up for the rat rush. I don't know. We'll see.
I am honestly hoping that we see the rat rush. I'd just love to see it happen.
Yeah, because this, in the absence of a rat rush, this is literally just who can break through on a Deathwalker roll first.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go. I see a large amount of dice being picked up. Quiglix into a 10 defense Raelin, or 10 defense Q9. I can hear it from here. He's shaking it. We're probably 40 feet away from him, and I can hear hear him shaking those dice in his hand.
It's so much dice.
Oh, he took a wound?
Oh yeah, that's a wound on Q9.
That is how you do it. Oh, maybe that was an attack.
I think that was a normal attack.
A normal attack, which is actually totally reasonable in this situation, because you're basically telling him you got to come in front of the rats, and then that could potentially set up a rat pack for Siegfried. So they both invested enough rats to make this not a trivial matchup. Like you do just see sometimes that it's just Q9 on Q9, but they both invested enough rats that there's a risk of getting mobbed with rats if you move up forward. So is he just going to return the favor and go 8v10 the other way, or 4v10 the other way? We might be in line here for the grindiest of grindy, where it's not even 3v10s. It's just one
4v4 for
1 4v10 repeatedly.
Yeah, no, it looks like he's going for the glyph instead.
He's going for the move glyph guy.
Yeah,
that's reasonable. But I mean, it's reasonable. Again, it's a prelude to another strategy, right? So, there's no point in having the rats in the late game if your Q9's dead.
Right.
But there's also no point in having the rats in the late game if you don't have a plan to do something with them. In this case, the plan being engage your opponent's Q9. So, like winning there, when I played this match in the finals in 2010, the issue was that the glyphs were super relevant. There was a defense +1 glyph.
Oh wow!
So because of that, it really did just become who could kill the other guy's rats first. Where like I had 16 rats, he had 15 rats, and we just ground each other's rats down. And I did actually end up going after. I guess the biggest difference was actually his Raelin was exposed, so I was able to, because he tried to protect his rats with Raelin, so I went after Raelin directly, and that ended up being the difference in the game, was that his Raelin went down, so then my Hydra was able to kill his Q9. It was a more complex matchup than this, both because of the glyph and because we both had other figures on the board.
Adding Hydra or something like that.
I had
a good difference.
I had Hydra Crab. He had Marro Warriors, Cayman, and Armor. Nice filler. But so it was yeah. I think things end up working out a little differently there. But yeah, there are situations where it does become who can grind the other guy's rats faster. But unless you're going to do something with the rats, it doesn't matter because
if they're just going to sit there and not move anyway.
Yeah, they can protect Raelin, but if you're not like neither Raelin is getting shot here.
Yeah.
In the way the board is set. the only way Raelin's going to get shot is if somebody plays more aggressively. We'll see.
So, kind of a side-ish question for you that last night William brought up. His hot take was he doesn't think that Q9 Rats is the best army. He just thinks that strong players like you have piloted it really well and given it like more hype than it deserves. But he thinks it's, I guess, like, you know, like obviously strong, but just not like the as strong as people kind of perceive it as.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. It's the best defensive army is what it comes down to, and especially in earlier eras of HeroScape where a lot of people were, you know, sort of didn't appreciate how to play into good defense. It was probably easier. It has bad matchups. Milf Greenscales is just good into it.
Yeah.
Heavies are good into it. Phantom Knights are good into it. Stingers with a special attacker are good into it. So I mean, it has bad matchups. It's just the other thing about it is it's not just Rats Q9. It's Rats Q9 and something, right? So if you have a Hydra, well, now all of a sudden the Milf and Heavies matchups don't seem so bad anymore because my 8 defense Hydra is throwing 16 dice at your Nilfheim. And that's a problem for Nilfheim.
Let's see. Thresher, I think saying Q9 is infamous just because he was piloted well is somewhat ahistorical. Q9 got a really bad reputation from basically the moment he was released back in the mid-2000s.
Accurate. I think the question is less, did it have a bad reputation, and more, is it the best arm? Is it the best arm? I think you're absolutely right that it was always viewed as super strong, and when it, I mean, before I played it in the 2010 main event, Jexic was maintaining the power rankings at that time. He had Rats Raelin Q9 all at A+. So it's not like a new concept. Even when I played it wasn't new. I mean, Hydra was a new concept when I played it, but Rats Raelin Q9 was not a new concept even then. The question is more with the way the game's evolved, with the figures that are, with the map. I think actually a big story here is with the maps evolving, the maps being more melee friendly than they are. Or less Q9 Raelin friendly than they used to be.
I think that,
there used to be Raelin perches on every map. There used to be intermediate high ground on every map. I mean, think about Fossil. When Fossil came out, Fossil was viewed as a melee-friendly map. Now it's viewed as one of the most range-friendly maps. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Highways and Dieways. It was viewed as a very melee-friendly map when it came out. I think more melee-friendly than any map in the history of the game. And now it's viewed as a range-friendly map because of how much map design has changed. So at that time, it was pretty hard to deal with Q9. The game's changed, and now there's more armies that can kind of contest a Q9 rat build.
I think players kind of know how to play into it more too now.
To some extent. I still see people make mistakes.
But I think, so, and just kind of build I think it's more also of a question of like, when you think of the best army, people often think of like, Rats Q9 Raelin, hate those, like, they're just like those trump cards.
There's an annoyance
and they don't
factor
really,
that also affects people's perception.
And I think that's a big part of it too.
Yeah.
Which, let me move this box real quick because Siegfried's Q9 did take 2 wounds.
Yeah, sorry. While we were talking, did Raelin move up? No, Raelin's still where he was. So this is still basically playing out as the grind. No one is really going for the big rat rushers. I think it's that's the only person who really has the option, honestly, is Max, because Max is keeping his Q9 behind that wall of 6 defense rats, which there's no point in Siegfried attacking those 6 defense rats with Quiglix. So, whereas Earthling has the option to kill the rats that are up front, that are outside Rael and Zara. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they're outside Rael and Zara. At which point you could potentially try to tie down Q9 with your rats. But for now it's basically just a dice fest. Whose Q9 is going to break first.
Basically. It's kind of what they've opted for. They do also...
And that is the default setting of this matchup. Like, let's be straight.
Yeah.
So.
I did. So that tree's right in the way of the Wannock glyph. I think Earthing's had a rat on Wannock the last little bit, so there's just a wound ticker on Marku as well right now.
Yeah, which is not super relevant.
I mean,
if you can't, if you haven't killed, if you haven't killed Q9 by 6 wounds in, then go over and kill that rat. You know, like whatever.
Yeah.
Just take care of it. But I do think at this point Siegfried probably wishes that he had moved Raelin up to where Earthling had.
30 minutes.
Was that a wound or nope?
Nope, that was a block. Oh, that's 3 skulls again.
Just a 4.
Yeah, they're just trading
Blocking
those
the
4s
4.
back and forth. Oh, here's a Deathreaver.
So he's going for move again, which.
But doesn't have a follow-up on rats.
I'm not sure I see it. Yeah, like what are we? Oh no, he's not. Okay. I would have rather have just moved Raelin and then reinforced with rats. I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah, because if you're just shooting like a 4v10 at a time right now, you can take an order mark to move up Raelin.
Absolutely. It's a very grindy matchup. It's very slow. You just gotta trust your Q9. Trust your defense dice. The best defense is a lot of defense dice. Oh, the second best defense is a lot of defense dice. The best defense is not being attacked, which is very relevant in this matchup. Because your Q9 does not have to get attacked if you just keep putting rats in the front. But this matchup is hard to do that. That's more relevant to like your fourth mass matchup, where if you can get your rats tying things down, then your Q9 that's an infinity defense for your Q9. So you brought one rat over to the other side. Is that what happened?
Yep. Just kind of swinging around down to this bottom part.
He's gonna take a swing at Q9, a 1 on 9 or something. Or he just pass.
Or wait, didn't.
Now he's attacking that rat. So
there's one there.
This is a tie down strategy here. Yeah.
He's been attacking.
They're more than 6 apart. So yeah, it has to be normal attacks. That's the grind. That's what you do. There's 4v10s. But if I were Earthing, I would be thinking about if I take that guy out on the move glyph, then I could put 2 order markers on rats, move up 4 of them on the first one, and then on the next one take move glyph and tie down his Q9 with 3 rats, because I think the option is there. So the strategy's there. That's the only other. But I mean, you're sort of winning the grind right now, so it's okay to just keep going 4v10s. You are favored. You're up a wound, and the only wound count that really matters, which is the Q9 one. And you have more rats if it comes. Not that that's super relevant if you're not using them, but it does matter a little bit in a potential Raelin endgame. It's pretty unlikely, because basically if one person has a 1 life Q9 left and the other person doesn't, that one life Q9 is probably going to be able to kill a Raelin and all the rats without any incident. So in this matchup, having the rats left over almost doesn't matter. If there were other things on the board, if they both had like a Marro warriors or something, then it matters if you have more rats. Like if you just imagine both of them having 1 less squad of rats and a Marro warrior sitting in the back, now it makes a ton more sense to grind down your opponent's rats, because now it's like if I lose this matchup, well, I could still potentially finish off the Q9 with my Marro warriors, or kill her with my and still pull it out. Or it's even more relevant if it's like Hydras sitting in the back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, unfortunately, this kind of this low point version is just low on the options there.
Yeah, I think there is someone running Rats Q9 Crav.
Oh, is there? And
Yeah.
we saw the Marro Warriors. Wait,
Yeah,
right?
we did.
Was
Yeah,
that-
there's Marro Warriors instead of the third squad of rats, which I think is a little better than the crowd version. I like having Raelin here. Okay, so another order marker on rats.
Yeah. There's another one revealed, so we could see something.
It's really funny. We're in this dynamic right now where Earthling is not putting order markers on rats, and I think he should, and Siegfried is putting order markers on rats, and I think he shouldn't. Just because I don't think this single engage with a
single engage is not great.
I don't think it's worth it. You're investing a whole order marker to put something. To put a unit onto Q9 that's probably going to die in less than an order marker on average.
Yeah.
It's going to take less than it's going to die on average in like or average a little less than 2 attacks, a little more than 2 attacks, I guess. It's like a 0.4. It's a little over 40% chance of getting the kill on a 3v4. So you're investing an order marker just to get that less than an order marker's worth of delay on Q9, and then Q9 can then turn around and shoot the one on the glyph.
Right, which is also just sitting at 4 defense again, happening right now.
Yeah, so I don't think it's worth it. I think if you're gonna go rats, it's got to be more the all-in strategy as opposed to just kind of like the single tie down. It's not really worth your investment.
So back to Q9 and rolling dice. Oh wait, hang on. Moved up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, so is he gonna Quiglix Earthlings Q9? No, hang on. He rolled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's in right. Am I counting that right? That jungle tree is really messing with my vision there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he was in Quiglix range. Instead took a normal attack on Q9. Oh, okay, so he was going for the 5 dice. That's right, because he's on level 3 now. That's it. Man, that tree's really messing with what I'm able to see there. Let's see. So, Earthling looks like still all in order markers on Q9, and Siegfried has switched over to Q9 as well full time. Now that he's got high ground, rolling attacks of 5 into still 10 dice, he might be able to outpace Earthling here now. I mean, it's really, problem is I guess the reason why I like the rat rush potential so much is that, and I think it'd be hard to do on this map. I guess Earthling can pull it off, right? But part of why I like it is because I think I like just trying to get anything for that edge there instead of just, essentially just rolling dice until something happens. But we'll see how this goes here. I really think that a Siegfried order marker on Raelin would be great. Just move her up, give your Q9 a little bit more flexibility, maybe take height there.
Alright, Q9 dead while I was gone?
No. We did have Siegfried moved his up to level 2 or level 3 for a second for a height attack, but I really think he needs to move. If he moved up Raelin, he could then pop Q9 up onto that level 3 and start getting attacks down at least.
Well, the thing about the attacks down is at that point you're getting Quiglixed in response because you're closer. So
that's true.
So I mean, and it's still going to be 3v10s because you have height. So it's going to be 3v10s both ways. So moving up, you could pop Q9 for 5.
Right.
Which is not.
So is 3 attacks of 3 or 1 attack of 5 better there?
I already have the probability tables up.
Well, there we go.
So a 5v3, I'm sorry, 5v10. That's what we're talking about. Is a 0.38 wounds on average, and a 3v10 is 0.105. So yeah, 1 attack of 5 is better than 3 attacks of 3. So that is actually an interesting little tidbit. The problem there is if you do that, it is a single OM investment to get quad engaged with rats. You don't even need Valda anymore.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But again, if Earthling is committed to not putting order markers on rats, you
Right.
can get away with it for a round. You can pop up, hit twice for 5, and then retreat back for your normal from distance on OM3. And if Earthling doesn't have any order markers on rats, you get away with it.
Right.
This is why I often say, I mean, this really doesn't apply super well in this matchup. But I often say, like, you rarely regret the order marker on rats, and it's because you can kind of catch people by surprise sometimes with a rat order marker and engage things.
Yeah. Hang on. Did Q9 just get taken out?
Q9 just died. Q9 dead.
Oh, dang.
So game pretty much over. Yeah. So you can see Marku load up here.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, and that's
Holy cow.
a 3-life Marku. So yeah.
I wasn't paying as close attention to the rolls because I'm like...
While we were casually chatting, Q9 got murdered. So.
Yeah. So I tell this is the cheese morning tournament.
How's it going, Don? Long time no talk. Just kidding. But yeah, so with Q9 down, obviously, it's like I said, the rats are not super relevant, but in this case, like I said, it's always the thing after Q9 is where they become more relevant. So Marku, at this point, like, if I were Earthling, I would not be putting order markers on Q9 right now. I would be putting order markers on rats, and just taking the glyph, taking Wannick and covering down on Marku, trying to engage Marku a bunch of times, and then I can just casually take him out. Or I guess, or did Marku get engagement on Q9?
Yeah, Q9. Yeah, he did engage Q9 there.
Yep. So this is a thing. No wounds. It's hard to read that many dice quickly.
It is. Alright, so there's
just taking down Marku here.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much.
Yep, that's a dead Marku.
You can shake hands there. Yep.
Yep. There we go.
GG's, folks. But yeah, interesting matchup. Ultimately, I thought those single engages on Q9 probably aren't worth it. In the end, it was basically just the dice. You know, one person got the hits first, but he was taking more opportunities because he wasn't investing in rats. Now,
That's true, yeah.
I think he had the opportunity to make a big play with rats, which he never did. But I would rather make no play at all than make the single engagements that Siegfried was doing.
Yeah, I think that was just too little going on because really, I mean, it was just continuously just one onto Glyph, one into Q9. Here we are.
Heavies against Q9 at last. So
On the shortest map.
yeah, it's definitely a map that you're not upset to see if you're the heavies here. You might prefer Alta, but this is pretty good. Or you might prefer something with jungle. But again, actually the thing about it is the jungle really only helps you on development. It doesn't help you once things get engaged.
Once you start brawling.
Yeah. So. I gotta get my quad pads.
I'm actually, let's see. We've got the Nerek version, right? And shoot, this is oh, is this Earthling again?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So obviously, very different situation we're in this time around. is a tough matchup for Q9 here.
Yeah, so if you're a Q9 player going into this, what's kind of your plan, or?
So you want to put pressure on the other player and try to make them stretch to you. You want to, if you can get some shots of 4 early on Grimnack, that's gonna make a difference. Now
this
is a slightly different heavies build than we saw before. There's only 12 Gruts, but there's Nirak. So with Nirak in play, if you can kill Nirak before things get locked down, that makes a big difference. How often? Because it's going to be very tough to keep Q9 clean in this matchup. Q9's often going to be attacking an engaged Grut, and if that's an engaged Grut that has Grimnack next to it and Nirak 3 spaces back, it's a 5 defense figure. Like often you're going to throw 3 dice at it and not kill it in 3 attacks, and then it just snowballs and you end up losing. You just end up getting attacked way more than you can deal with. Maybe you can get double engaged. It can just get out of control really quickly. Your rats can end up overwhelmed. So I would often in this matchup will want to run Q9 out and fire max range shots, and you just have to kind of hope that maybe you lose an initiative and you get to be able to take some shots on the first wave, and then eventually you're just going to get behind a wall and just hope that it takes a little while for that wall to. You can see Earthling's got Raelin literally in the back of the start zone there.
Oh yeah. So he's planning to go back there.
That's a choice. I mean, if you're going to do that, I would probably have just leave a Q9 sized hole back there, and I even have the rats a little further packed in. The only problem with that is you're telegraphing things even more by doing that. And Sola Astrid and Initiative make this even less pleasant.
Yeah, that's so good for the melee player.
Yeah, I mean, if they get one Groot next to Q9 and with Grimnack behind him, they can just roll 5 dice with the double boost.
Yeah.
So a 5v9 does not feel that bad. It's going to get through in time, even if you never get it Raelin. So I'm hoping to get some early sniping action. I'm not sure what we're looking at here is, I guess, debating the different options for where Grimnack can move to and what Q9 is going to be able to do in terms of hitting those spots. Because I'm guessing, so we got 3 on Q9. So I mean, this is the way you play it. If you're Earthling, you're just trying to snipe on the approach. When we're into round 3 or 4, this is literally just going to be a bunch of stuff on top of Earthling start zone, and if it's just a question of if Grimnack and Nirak are still clean at that point, even if they're like 2 life or like a 2 life Grimnack, it's going to be awfully tough to get those last 2 off Grimnack in that situation, because you're often going to be trying to kill a 5 defense figure with Q9 just to get the attack. So someone thumbed up.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how the thumbs up come about, but apparently it's a MacBook thing, so. Yeah, they just like what you're saying there.
Yeah, so it's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, and I guess the good news for Q9 is there's a decent little landing zone that he can kind of run around that's not next to road. But yeah, that's still just such a patient game of take a couple attacks. You probably have to run back every time initiative comes around too, right?
Right. I mean, unless you lost initiative and you're still.
Oh, that's true.
But if you won initiative, then yeah, it's not great. So, sorry, I'm submitting my quad power in here.
Oh, and that's okay. It's a good thing to be on top of.
I just got a very deep too. So. The future of heroes game.
Oh, the future of heroes. Oh man, should have peeked at your phone.
We'll see. Maybe it'll end up not being a consequence. We'll see. I won't be saying anything about it on stream, I'm afraid.
Oh, we can mute this. Or just like lower the volume and have you mumble really quietly and have everybody get their team of experts on decrypting the audio.
Get the lip reader experts out.
Yeah. Alright, so his first shot does kill a heavy there.
That's good. But, I mean, it's as good as it is to kill heavies here.
Right, yeah, exactly.
If you get Grimnack up there, so this is where it gets, if Grimnack and Nearok are both unwounded when this turns into grind the start zone, it's really tough for Earthling at that point. This is, there used to be maps back in the day where this was a good matchup for Q9 because you could find a height spot,
right,
that where you couldn't be touched, or you couldn't be touched from low ground. I mean, like, you could find height that you could get to quickly, where you were protected by Raelin and everything's stacking up on you, and those that just don't exist on maps like this. So double check that text. Craig Van Ness says he wishes he was here.
Oh, does he?
He does.
That's awesome. That'd be awesome if you could make it at some point.
Yeah, he was at Gen Con apparently.
Oh yeah?
But yeah.
The Avalon Hill stuff?
Well, he was doing stuff for Hasbro. I mean, he still.
Okay.
It wasn't HeroScape related. His reason for
right
being there. But he did drop by the HeroScape stuff and talk to people.
Well, that's good.
Took pictures with people, signed cards, stuff like that. So.
That's awesome.
He's a great guy and really understands the game and loves the game, and it's very cool to have somebody who so many years after they made the game still clearly like is passionate about it. It's really cool. We're very lucky as a hobby that the person who made it has that kind of attitude about it.
How's it going, fellas?
It's going well.
I think heavies are going to beat Q9 and Rats. That's my prediction. On this map, I mean, with the glyph setup on this map, like it's just everything is set up where he would want it.
I mean, they should beat him anyway.
I agree. I mean, if you were on like
Crossfire.
I was gonna say like Fulcrum. Where like you can put Q9 on height and shoot down on everything that's coming up. It's a little bit different, but although that one, you can go over the top with the. If you think about like the old maps from like 2009, like you can win it. You can win it with Q9 there, but here, it shouldn't happen.
Silent Wash is probably worse for the heavies.
Yeah, that's true. It's got to come way over the top.
Yeah, it seems like there's a few of those kind of race for the top. Song of the Walrus, Grumman Castle, probably not as bad, but...
Yeah, in that situation, it's a question of whether you just don't even bother with the rats. You just like try to tank it with Q9. If you get on a perch, it's kind of okay. If you get lucky early on, stuff out. So are there any wounds on either of the heroes at this stage?
Not yet. This is just the second turn for Q9.
Yeah.
So lining up that second shot.
The one thing that's gone Earthling's way is he did lose that opening initiative. So because of that, he had a shot on his first turn, and he will have a shot here, and he could potentially depending on the geometry of things, he could potentially stay out for a shot on his third turn. Whereas if he had won initiative, he would have had no shot on his first turn. And then on his second turn, he get a shot, and on his third turn, he might have to run away. So there's between 3 shots and 1 shot potentially. But
it's really nice, for sure.
But you know the he does have that one heavy grip hit, but I'm him. I really want to get Nirak if I can. The problem is, I think he's in a situation now, and I'm sure this was intentional on Chris's part, where if he takes shots on Nirak, I think that heavy at the front can get at him. Or can
I think so. Yeah, he's got 1 on road on each side to threaten there.
So that's why he's staying on the non-road section there. So the question is, can any heavy grud get to him there? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think so.
Can they run 1, 2, 3, 4? Okay, just move back a little bit. Because that 1 on rock there could get on that shadow spot.
He's gonna end up where he is now. He's gonna realize that if he's on the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Oh, see, he can't decide.
Chris made it real tough for him.
I think where he was in front of the tree. No, so this I don't like. This is bad. I think he changes his mind here. But the other spot where he's 1 back of those 2 spots on the double dungeon that's not next to the road, I think there the only thing that can engage him is Nirak, and I'm not sure. I mean, that would be a gutsy play on Chris's part to engage with Nirak, but I don't think he would do it. He's not going.
Well, let's see.
Again, here the heavy on the road can do it. So
I do think this heavy can make it to shadow, right?
This is the one. This is the spot that he's going to settle on. It's taken a long time, but he'll get to it. This is the spot he's going to settle on because the only thing that can engage him is Nirak. And so he can take shots on Nirak, which is critical because killing Nirak is basically almost a prerequisite to victory in my opinion.
We're going next to Nirak, can engage him on the shadow next to the double dungeon. I think so.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it could, yeah. So
there were no
I guess he's just decided that he's going to take that because he has to kill Nirak. I mean, this is that a wound? No.
Yeah, no wound on the first one.
All right.
Yeah, so no wounds overall.
Yeah, Nirak's rolling 4 defense because of the shadow. So here's at this spot, it's probably going to be Grimnak moves up, heavy engages, and then back heavies move forward. And then Q9 has to decide on order marker, or Q9, that was order marker 2. Yeah, so Q9 on order marker 3 will have to decide, stay there, risk an initiative loss that's potentially disastrous, or take a leave, retreat behind the wall, and shoot up. But I think probably what happens here is Grimnak moves up, heavy single engages, 2 heavies move from the back, Q9 blocks, Q9 takes a leaving engagement, gets behind the wall, kills that heavy on height, and we end up with the round over, 2 heavies dead, and maybe 1 wound on Q9.
Okay.
That's my prediction for the... Okay, so far so good.
Right?
1 moves from the back. Yeah. Is he going to do the... I assume the engagement one's coming here, unless we did the math wrong.
I'm pretty sure he's got that.
Yeah, because
there's no reason to not engage, right?
I would definitely do it. I think you because otherwise Q9's retreating back and shooting up on Grimmet. Maybe I think you do it because you're so likely to get an LEA attack, which is literally the most efficient attack on Q9. When I play this matchup as Q9, I often take wounds from LEAs almost as much as I do from orcs, just because you have to be able to reposition on occasion. And this would be a great example of why, like you're taking these shots. But it looks like Chris is deciding to not take that engagement.
Interesting.
Just trusting his slow roll, basically saying, you're going to have to retreat anyway, and you're going to be taking shots on Grimnack that are going to be 3v7s. Yeah, 3v7s. Yeah, I would have done the engagement because you're getting a free LEA.
You're forcing him. Because there's no way he stays there.
Yeah, I don't think he can.
And I mean, I guess he could.
He actually took a 4 there, so it was a 4v. Oh no.
Was it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Oh yeah, so he's just out of range of the Quicklix.
Yeah, so he took a 4v7 and was blocked. I think Chris needs to shake the cup a little more to make sure the D20 is properly randomized. It's actually something I coached Noah on before, because we're the two of us and Chris are the only people that use cups to roll. Mm-hmm. And I was like, don't overshake. Like you don't want to waste time. You just turn it and go.
Right. No, it's fun to watch Chris. Well, like at the end of the last round, I watched him just like go on with that cup, rolling attack after attack.
He's
so
when he you could tell his his stress level in a game by how hard he hits the cup to the table.
And he was like it was attacks on Q9 at the end game, so he was going at it.
Yeah, he can go hard with it. We actually brought mouse pads this year to muffle our slap.
Nice.
Our dice cup slap a little.
That's awesome.
So it's good. Where are we at? So, who won initiative here? So Q9 already took shots and to no effect, or did kill the one heavy or no? No, we still just have the one
get heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're presumably taking shots on Grimnack here. So I think at this point he's probably going to grab Sola Astrid. Chris is at some point in the round for the boosted attacks. But I think at this point it's still going to be a Nirak move first. One more preparatory. No, I guess going for the. Did he just move Grimnack 1, or is he just?
Yeah, that was just one space. If that's what he goes with.
That's some patience. That's some patience. But that's just to set up a chomp in the correct spot, I assume.
Yeah, probably.
I didn't do the math, but I'm just guessing that's what it is. I have to look at the map. I'm going to walk over.
Okay.
Do my close insert.
All right. So while Doc's stepping over to take a look, I do wonder kind of how much Chris. He's only got 2 heavies still in his start zone, which is pretty good, but. You kind of want every heavy on deck when you make that final push into Q9 there. So, yeah, I'm really curious because, again, I don't see Q9 played as much, so it's like that's one of the questions that I'm looking forward to kind of observing and looking at is, now, what point do you push into the Q9 build? I almost feel like you just literally wait until you've got every single heavy can engage, and then you go with it. That might be a little too patient. In fact, that's probably too patient. But so now he doesn't have any heavies in the start zone. I think that's kind of what he's looking for, right? Like, he might not wait until it's literally every single heavy can engage, but it might be pretty close.
Yeah, so the deal is because those rats are all one space back from the level down, Grimnack has to be one space up to get to engagement with the rats, because there's a they're not at the spot where there's height in front of them. They're at one spot back from that.
So you'd have to move.
So has to move 3 spaces to get to the front there, and then 2 more to kind of drop in.
Okay.
So that's why I moved up 1. Presumably the next move will be to move Nirak up. He's saying, oh, sorry, I did that in the wrong order, but this is what I'm doing. That's what he's saying right there. So he just took initiative. He took Sola Astrid, and now he's going to probably just charge some yeah, this is where the party starts. So like Nirak is probably not going to activate much for the rest of the game. And on his next turn, he's going to be throwing Grimnak up front, chomping, and throwing a bunch of heavies in. Probably a heavy on both flanks, so he can go 4 across and probably block off that whole side of the start zone essentially, and basically force the scatters to come around the top. If they scatter.
If they scatter. Yeah, that's actually one thing I was thinking is, do you scatter, try to like interfere at all, or is it just better to keep that wall of, well, because Grimnak can chomp through that wall anyway.
Yeah, but I guess the point is you can make the wall dissipate at chomp speed instead of at chomp plus attack speed.
Right, that's true.
But depending on where Grimnak chomps, the heavies can fill in gaps. Like you chomp with Grimnak, and then you do not attack. So,
yeah, and then you put a heavy there.
So then you put a heavy there, and you get a 4v6 with the heavy. So just trying to bring up enough heavies to do the initial assault. It only really needs to attack with 2 or 3 heavies at the initial move. So we'll see.
So that was another question I had, just because I don't see this matchup enough to be able to be like, how this plays out. So if you've got 2 heavies ready to attack, you can jump in with Grimnak, the 2 heavies, and then just like chomp attack your way through and be resupplying with 2 more heavies each turn instead of like waiting for like 4 heavies ready to jump in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's going to depend on how the sort of wall shapes out here. But I mean, as the heavies player, you're not super worried about like rats coming around your backside because like they're just giving you more places to attack them.
Right. Yeah.
Like you almost don't care. Grimnak, if Grimnak's tied down, quote unquote, that means he has something to chomp. So and everybody else is disengaged. So who cares? So he's just trying to decide. At this point, I think Q9 just needs to keep shooting. He's going for at this point, I would honestly shoot Grimnak. I know it sounds bad to be shooting 4v7s or 3v7s, but I would, if Grimnak doesn't die, it's a timer on the game.
Yeah.
And if Grimnak dies, first of all, the attacks go from 4s to 3s, and the rats stop dying at a predictable pace. So, and you actually almost don't care about getting a little bit, about some attacks getting through on Q9 because you're willing to tank. So here comes, as we said, a chomp, and presumably, so I disagree with that chomp choice. I would have chomped one on the right or left so that the heavy could get into the gap. That gap heavy can't get in that gap because Grimnak's physically in the way and it's still engaged. We're having a discussion about something here. He's just reconsidering. Maybe he's reconsidering his chomp. I don't know. He's definitely not attacking with Grimnak. I mean, but the point, I guess kind of what I'm saying is, if you're going to chomp there, it almost doesn't matter. You can attack with Grimnak because you don't care about the scatter. You're not. They're going to be able to fill that in on scatter. Anyway.
Right. That's true. And because all he'll do is fill in anyway. It's not like he's going to leave the aura or.
Yeah, I don't think rats are going to come forward just because they're all 6 defense right now.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what though?
I think he's actually. He's actually not even attacking this turn. That's wild. Okay, so that's why he's not doing. He's planning on just one more turn of slow roll here, with Grimnak sitting down low, winning initiative. He's going for second chomp, and then he'll he's gonna slide Grimnak in there. Maybe I think he might have to take a lead to do it, but slide Grimnak in there for a chomp to fully expose Raelin or fully expose Q9. I'm not sure what exactly the strat is gonna be here. But I think the goal is to you're slow rolling for one more turn. It makes sense now. He's slow rolling for one more turn. He could either chomp the one on that's just barely visible for us on the right, and then put 2 heavies in front and then start attacking. That might be the goal. Or it could be that he's planning on taking a leave to slide Grimnak directly into the gap to chomp right next to Q9. I'm not sure. We'll see. But banking on obviously getting the initiative win
Yeah, which he's got
80
Dagmar.
82% chance.
Yeah.
So.
And takes it. You rolled a 13.
Yeah, 21 beats 18. So he does. I don't know if that's a lead. I couldn't see. Okay.
So he does fill in. It's
Okay.
I don't know, with double spaces, does that kind of...
So, yeah, now comes the attacks. Okay, so he wasn't necessarily trying to get all the way in on Q9 right there, as much as just getting a little bit of a bigger gap to work with, so that he could get more boosted attacks into the rats with the heavies. Just creating more surface area, essentially. And plus, he was going to have to bring guys up from the back at some point anyway, so, like...
Yeah, I think taking a turn to do that.
A slow roll, yeah, I mean, just one more turn of slow roll. Just the way it timed out with Dagmar, he kind of had the slow roll for one more turn than maybe he would have liked, but better to get those figures up now than to not have them when he needs them later.
Yeah.
Pretty much going to script for Chris right now. And I don't really mind any of the decisions Earthlings made. Like I said, if I were Chris, I probably would have engaged Q9 at the tail end of round 1 there. But other than that, I haven't really seen anything he's done that hasn't made sense to me. I guess maybe Nirak wouldn't have been protecting that unit at that point. I don't remember. I think it would still have been in there.
Yeah, I don't think Nirak would have been protecting him.
Kill the rat with an attack. Here comes the first scatter of the game. Or not. Or he's thinking about it. Just swing and run around into the gap. Sure. Okay, just pulling back. That makes sense. One more attack on the right side. Should be another 4v6 coming.
So it's also kind of fun when you're playing rats to be able to like deny melee attacks, right? But when you're in a corner like this, that's probably just like too much to try to do that as well.
You have less of an ability to. I mean, but anytime that you can drop guys back and turn a 3 attack turn into a 2 attack or 1 attack turn is good.
Okay.
I mean, to the extent that you can. I mean, he still has 2 more spaces to back Q9 up into, and I'm expecting that on the next turn the Earthling takes, Q9 is going to back up all the way. Oh, well, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yeah, he's reconsidering. But that would be my move, would be to back up more to just make the space for one more turn of this. That was the advantage of putting Raelin where he put Raelin in the very
just
back.
Totally block her off and
and at the very end, when the rats are irrelevant, I expect Q9 to be literally blocking Raelin off, so that it's literally impossible for Chris to get at.
He has to claw through that 9 defense.
Yeah. So it's going to be, I think that's the ultimate plan here, which is it's all you can do. And at that point, it'll probably be Grimnack sideways, boosting 3 heavy attacks. So it's just going to be 4 V9s or 1 5v9 with Sola Astrid and 2 4v9s, just grinding at Q9 to take Q9 out, while Q9 goes 3s into 5s to try to take them out. With the vain hope of taking 3 of them out so that you can get a Grimnack, but it being pretty unlikely at that stage.
Yeah, that probably not. Yep, there's that block off. Pulled back.
So you got a fully retreated Q9 now.
Hey.
And now it's just the grind down on rats by Grimnack and Higgins. It's been very nicely set up by Chris, but at this point it's pretty much just it mostly plays itself from here on out. It's just wear down the rats and push in. I guess at some point before 1, 2, 3, 4. At some point Chris
Nirac
will have to make one more Nirac move, but I wouldn't do it until I was ready to engage Q9.
Right.
Because you don't want Nirac getting shot by Q9. Grimnak can tank shots from Q9, but Nirac is a little bit too fragile to risk that. So there will be one more Nirac move before the end, but then it's going to be... You'll reach a point where the bonding is irrelevant, and it's literally just heavies grinding Q9. But this is pretty textbook at this point. They both played it fairly cleanly. Like I said, I really only had that one quibble with any move that's been made.
Yeah.
I guess Chris wasn't happy with one of his Grimnak placements. It's a little hard for us to tell from our perspective, but like that one move, Grimnak move, was because he had miscounted earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's true. Which, I mean, he was still rolling at that point, so I don't think it really messed with his momentum too much.
I agree.
Yeah.
Looks like we're just filling in the gaps here. So is that Heavy's not on Q9 yet? I think we're still one space away, or no?
Yeah, we're still one space out, looks like. So he'll be going for... I think he could engage Q9, but he'd be leaving Grimnak to do that.
Or I think actually the issue is I'd be leaving Nirac Aura to do it also.
Oh, yeah.
So we might see that Nirac move soon. Although honestly, it's totally fine to just keep grinding rats until there's not enough to keep Q9 clean.
Mm-hmm.
Once the 3 spaces in front of Q9 are all open, at that point it makes sense to start attacking Q9. But before that, it's actually kind of okay to be where you are. Although I'm not sure if Q9 is unengaged, then Q9 can shoot Nirac, which is dangerous. Okay, it's Marku getting attacked. Marku is
in there.
A better blocker than a rat when he's 3 defense. 6 life, 3 defense is it's a lot to grind through.
In Chris's last game, he rolled a 20 on Chump on Marco on his first try, and then chumped Raelin on a 20 on his first try as well.
It's good.
So at this point where the heavies are this close, are you still taking attacks on Grimnak, trying to just get lucky and get him out of there, or are you going for heavies now?
Still probably Grimnak, just because the +1 attack is so significant into a 9 defense Q9. Like 3 attack is so much less likely to get through than 4.
Right.
I mean, I can check the math, but it's a lot. It's a significant difference. I mean, I would go after Nirac first.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, interesting. Yeah, he is in range of Nirac. He wasn't going for him, but he is in range of Nirac with Griglix.
Yeah, so that's that. I mean, I would have been trying to take out the heroes. I understand trying to thin the squads. I mean, at this point, how many are dead?
Just 3.
Just 3.
Yeah.
I feel like you got to hit their defense a little bit more. Oh, that was the Sola Asper one. Killed Marku.
So he's
rapid attacks.
2 blanks there doesn't make it much easier.
And that's round. Pretty solid overall at this point. I think this one is probably going to be over in a few minutes. I think they're going to play pretty fast at this point because there's not... Decisions have mostly been made here.
Yeah.
Especially for the Q9 player, there's almost nothing decided.
Yeah, you just kind of sit back and...
he attacking for 2? It almost doesn't. He's like at this point I can attack for 2. It doesn't matter. Scatter away.
It seems like he's in a real good position. Yeah, he's absolutely in good. It would be. I don't think it's biased to say it'd be kind of shocking to see Chris not pull this off.
Yeah, at this point, it's extremely
solid.
And like I said, I expect. Okay, so he's not engaging, or he is engaged. Okay, he's got 2 engaged on Q9. I expect the next order marker will be on Nirak, just to compound the defense on those engagers. I'm gonna actually walk over one more time just to double check that I've got the geometry right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so nice just rolling and trying to get those kills in. I'm expecting basically if he's next to Q9, he attacks Q9, just trying to get those wounds in as fast as he can, and then meanwhile Grimneck just kind of chomps things, clears it up, opens up more routes for heavies to join the party. And another good thing is like your Earthling is still, doing what he can with the rats as they're getting attacked and, scatter. He is, he's not totally falling off, right? Like he's I guess sometimes you can get kind of hyper focused and be like, this is going terrible for me. I don't really have a chance. He's chomping stuff anyway. But he is looking for, what is the best position for a Deathreaver right now. So while it probably doesn't win him the game, it gives him a little bit of a chance.
Yeah. So it's exactly as you said.
Yeah.
I expect the next order marker for Chris. He's going to move Nirak probably into the start zone and just attack a rat, just because at this point it's like, why not?
Right.
Like everything's on top. You got 2 engaged with Q9. You just want to give them 5 defense.
Yeah.
180-degree arc, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Basically.
He can't shoot back here if he's facing this direction.
Yeah, that's the general ruling, yeah. So they did. Okay. All right, so they just did the last attack. There's a scatter. Now we're gonna get OM1, and he's just gonna shoot the engage. So these will be 3v4s now. Killed 1.
Yep, there goes 1.
There's a 1. Locked. Locked. So now we're gonna see the Nirak move. Yep. I'm surprised he didn't just go all the way into the start zone and take an attack. At this point, scatter doesn't scare you in the slightest anymore.
Right.
I guess. Oh no! He couldn't because of that kill. Because of the kill on that one heavy. Now he wanted to move a heavy in that spot. If he had attacked with Nirak, there would have been a scatter into that spot, and he would have only gotten 1 attack on Q9 this turn. So instead, he gets 2 attacks on Q9. That's some wounds. Nope, that's a block. Okay. It's a little hard to see the 9.
It's so much dice.
So now he's just going to do an attack on a rat somewhere. He's trying to decide where. Looks like it was a block, and he's going to send a rat around somewhere, not that it really matters. Cool. So then next turn, Grimnack will chomp the Knack, the last Guardian rat. Okay, so that was a big hit on a rat there. So that rat dies. It's going to have to scatter to cover, but that rat is going to get chomped next turn. And then from there on, there's three attacks on Q9 for the rest of the game. Well, until the heavies run out, that is. So he only has 4 dead heavies and 2 on the glyphs, which means
6 up in there.
6, yeah. So he can lose 3 more. He can lose 2 more. Correction. He can lose 2 more before it starts to hurt. So now comes the. He's going to turn Grimnack sideways, or is he not able to? Yeah.
Is there? Oh yeah, I think there's a guy in the way there to go sideways.
So did he chomp that guy? Yeah. So he's chomping that rat. Nope. Oh no, he had his own guy in the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so next turn he'll go chomp the right. He might even not bother attacking this time to prevent the scatter. So that's a 5 on Q9. Blocked.
Oh, nice
four,
block.
4 skull blocked with my 4 shield. And then a 1 skull. And then he's debating now whether to bother with the 2 attacks on rounds. He decided not to, I guess.
Yeah, looks like it.
And killed another
Killed a
heavy.
heavy. Okay, so we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
With 2 block. Oh, is that a 3 skull?
Oh, that must have been.
Wow. So
Yeah.
now he is at that point where any additional deaths will deny attacks.
Yeah.
But he is
Which, he can just leave initiative now.
Yeah, he will.
Like, that's-
He's going to leave initiative on this turn.
Yeah.
Because here's the initiative roll. So 13. So yeah, so now
Yeah,
he
he
turns
got a 15.
sideways, gets the chomp, and he's going to put all 3 of them in place. So those are his last 3, and then he'll move the one off initiative to start bringing it up. It's like I'm controlling him, like he's a marionette.
He's your little puppet. Although I am curious, at what point do you leave?
Sola?
Do you leave Sola like as soon as you are done on activations?
I think the 5 is so valuable. There he is. He one shot.
Oh, there we go.
Yep. So
Yeesh.
you wait on that.
Okay.
All right, that was a good one though.
Yeah.
And that was a
Enjoyed
great
watching it.
illustration of how to play heavies into Q9 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Just a very very clean game, but just shows why that's such a tough matchup on maps like this that don't give you an easy perch to play on. It just shows
Right.
you why that's such a tough matchup when played well. So,
Yeah.
cool game.
Yep.